for a child in need. Be part of the change. Become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. That's compassion.com/radio. 5:08, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
As press secretary for President Trump, Sean Spicer had a front row seat to history. And in his new book, he reveals details about what really happened behind the scenes during the campaign and the early days of the administration. On Wednesday, August 8th, Sean Spicer is coming to Chicago. Meet Sean Spicer and get a copy of his new book, The Briefing, at the Museum of Broadcast Communications. Tickets are absolutely free. Thanks to healthinsurancementors.com. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/briefing. That's 560theanswer.com/briefing.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-566-7906 now for your free reputation analysis. Our dedicated experts and patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-566-7906 to learn more or visit ReputationDefender.com.
I've been suffering from depression for about 45 years. I've probably been on 5 to 6 different antidepressants. And even when they did work, and there was that underlying feeling of depression, and it would never go away. Just call one of the treatment centers and just talk to the psychiatrist or doctor, and you'll be on your way. I'm Christy. I'm a wife and a mother and a real estate broker, and I no longer suffer from depression.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. You can make real progress in the battle with depression, cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
When you're looking for a caring dentist and an experienced dental staff who'll treat you like family, then it's time to call Dr. Y at Oaklawn Dental LLC. Dr. Yerkes and his team will create a smile that you'll want to share with family and friends. Go to oaklawndentist.com for a complete list of services, or call Oaklawn Dental for an appointment with Dr. Y at 708-424-5700. And for a limited time, get a $100 credit on your new account. Call 708-424-5700. Oaklawn Dental LLC for the smile you deserve.
A business needs to be built on a great foundation, one with the framework of integrity and tradition. With the experience of 3 generations of master builders, that's what Tyler Lane Construction wants to recreate on your next project. Their approach starts with TLC's veteran project managers, seasoned, hands-on professionals who understand job site issues. With a rock-solid foundation for your success, they'll handle the intricacies of project admin and coordination of work crews. Tyler Lane Construction employs state-of-the-art safety measures and strict adherence to budgets and schedules. And just like you, their project managers take extra pride in the work they do because every project needs TLC. See for yourself at TylerLaneInc.com. Ignite the vision for your own commercial renovation by clicking on the project videos to see the award-winning upgrade of Lane Tech High School, the renovation of the Harper College Engineering and Tech Center, and more. For your restoration project or new construction, you deserve TLC. Visit TylerLaneInc.com to get started. That's TylerLaneInc.com.
512, check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. And pleasant good morning to Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. We are seeing some residual congestion on the outbound ride from 91st to 91st. That major earlier wreck has cleared. All lanes have reopened. Gets a little heavy just before 91st Street, but this is loosening up fairly quickly. Traffic should be flowing freely through that area shortly. The inbound side, not affected at all right now. We're not seeing any inbound delays, though traffic's starting to build for that morning rush. Downtown closures, Columbus, Congress, and Jackson continue until 3 this afternoon for cleanup after the taste of Chicago. Starting today in northwest Indiana, 41 will be down to 1 lane in each direction. State Road 2 in Lowell, 135th place. And on 355, the Veterans Memorial Tollway, there's a new roadwork configuration northbound. Traffic splits from Butterfield to just past Roosevelt to 1 express lane on the left and 2 locals on the right. At the end of this week, both directions will be in that configuration. Traffic service of Compassion International. You can't change the whole world, but you can be part of the change in the world for a child living in poverty. Becoming a Compassion International child sponsor. You can choose a child to sponsor at compassion.com/radio. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Humid today with clouds and sun along with a shower or thunderstorm, high 86. Mainly clear night, low 65. Mostly sunny and less humid tomorrow with a high 80 and a clear night tomorrow night, low 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
76 at O'Hare, 78 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and we're just minutes away from Trump and Putin sitting down for their summit meeting in Helsinki. Trump, over the weekend before venturing from Scotland to Helsinki, sat down with Face the Nation for a interview there and described what his expectations are for today's meeting with Putin.
He was a disgrace. I don't expect anything. I frankly don't expect. I go in with very low expectations. I think that getting along with Russia is a good thing, but it's possible we won't.
But some critics don't think it's a good thing to get along with Russia, considering, their annexation of Crimea, considering obviously the Russian hacking into our elections and the 12 indictments that came down on Friday. They want him to press him on those issues. Mm-hmm. But do you think that he will? I mean, it's a 90-minute meeting. They're going to have 2 translators in the room, no aides. Then and it's not going to be a recorded conversation. That's what, according to the Kremlin. And then the aides are going to come in, and then they're going to have a joint press conference. Do you think anything is going to be accomplished?
I mean,
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
Yeah, this is what adversaries do in the world of geopolitics. They meet and they try and hash things out, and there's a lot of gamesmanship, and there's a competition of interests and shifting alliances depending on the particular issue at bar. So, I mean, all the media is so stupid. I mean, the way they cover this, they just know nothing about any of these matters. And so it's all surface skimming, kind of reality TV show type coverage of these things, and trying to divine meaning from every single word, every single facial gesture. Yeah. And it's just a bit overwrought for me.
And then when Putin arrives, it's going to be a big deal. I mean, this morning, Chris Cuomo, he's back on New Day just for a day, saying, when he arrives, we'll break in, we'll let you know. Because, Putin's coming off of the great World Cup. He was partying with Macron in Moscow yesterday, patting the players on the butt, giving them, high fives, too, for their win over Croatia.
That's not why he was patting him on the butt, though.
4-2.
Good news, by the way, since you went on a World Cup tangent.
Yes.
The percentage of 6 to 12-year-olds playing soccer in America has dropped to nearly 14%.
What?
I hate to break it to John Cass.
Can you tweet him that article?
600,000. Soccer has lost more child participants than any other sport. 600,000, according to Tom Ferry, the executive director of the Aspen Institute for Sports and Society. It's enough to fill every stadium on any given match day during the 2026 World Cup, which the United States will host along with Mexico and Canada. Boy, can't wait for...
What year is that again?
Just 8 years from now. 8 short years from now. Hopefully soccer will be a vestigial sport by that time. But it's good to see soccer hemorrhaging interest in America. So that's the good news. Getting back to Putin, this is an interesting piece. Mark Weinberg, who is a Reagan staffer, who advanced meetings between Reagan and Gorbachev and Reykjavik in particular, but
as well as Geneva, Washington, Moscow, New York. People forget how often Reagan and Gorbachev met. He says a couple of things sort of interesting. He says that when Trump first writes, this is at foxnews.com, when Trump first meets Putin, then smiles and vigorously handshakes are inappropriate. A stern, even slightly angry expression, which is the norm for Trump, and a firm but quick handshake would immediately set the right tone. No pats on the back, no physical contact other than a handshake. The body language should say that the United States knows what Russia did and is still doing. We're quite angry about it, and it will not be tolerated. Okay.
Well, this is what he said to Piers Morgan. He was also on with him. He's got a new job over there across the pond.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the...
No, that's not it. Excuse me.
I believe he believes that, and that's very important for somebody to believe. I believe that he feels that he and Russia did not meddle in the election.
I mean, is he even going to bring up the Russian meddling?
I don't know what he's going to bring up. He hasn't made specific mention of it, other than to say it's under consideration. Will you ask Putin to allow the U.S. to extradite the Russian intelligence officers who's been indicted by Mueller? Yeah, you can ask the question if you want.
Hand him over to him.
Robert in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, it was just a question. Are we kind of hypocrites? I mean, it's still the same politicians in Washington, D.C. Did we meddle in Israel in the last administration? And doesn't China meddle with us? And we try and...
I know.
I mean, is that fact or is that fiction? I
think it's a little bit overstated. I don't know that the comparison is exactly on point. I know this is sort of what Rand Paul and others say, but we participate. We don't hack. There's no evidence to suggest we're hacking into the Likud party's servers in Israel, for example. So it's one thing to participate, to attempt to influence formally or even informally through operatives from either party to their sort of corresponding parties in other countries, and it's another thing to hack in and spread misinformation through Facebook and so forth. So I don't think it's quite a perfect comparison, even though some try to make it. Thanks for the call, Robert.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Later on, Rub and Tug and Shock and Awe, the latest out of Hollywood. And Dan, look who has a ankle monitoring bracelet. Oh. But first, here's your forecast. Today, partly sunny. It is humid out there. You could cut the humidity with a knife. A high of 86 degrees. It's also, formerly known as an ozone action day. So now it's called an unhealthy air quality day for sensitive groups. So basically, it's hard to breathe if you have asthma or a heart condition. Tonight, a low of 65. Then tomorrow, the humidity breaks. We're going to have mostly sunny skies, less humid, a high of 80 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. I'm happy to report the outbound Ryan has cleared up. There was an earlier crash near 95th Street, and all lanes were blocked at one point, but now everything is open again. Not seeing any delays outbound on the Ryan. Inbound, it's getting a little heavy as usual between 18th and the Burns Circle. Looking at about a 2-minute delay in that area. Edens, Kennedy, Eisenhower still good. Stevenson inbound. A little congestion, Pulaski to Kedzie. About a 1 or 2 minute delay. Inbound Bishop Ford is tight. Cottage Grove to Merge. It's a brief tap of the brakes. Tollways look great. No delays to report on the major roads in northwest Indiana. No delays to report right now on the rails. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Did you know that your sump pump is the heart of your basement waterproofing system? Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. Do you know how many sump pumps fail? That's right, all of them. It isn't a matter of if, but rather when your pump will fail. Unfortunately, you may not realize there's a problem until your basement is flooded and you've incurred thousands of dollars in damages. At Permaseal, we make it easy to have your sump system evaluated and a reliable pump and battery backup system installed. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-SEAL to schedule your free inspection. We've received many calls from happy customers whose basement and belongings were protected during this past rainy season. But don't take our word for it. Check out our reviews with the Better Business Bureau. You'll see that many of your friends and neighbors are part of the Permaseal family. Get the peace of mind that comes with a dry basement and a healthy home. You know who to call. Permaseal. 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Deb, I'm so done with today. Traffic was awful. I couldn't stop for coffee. I have conference calls all morning, plus all these reports to go through. And look, it's 75 and sunny, and I'm stuck in here.
Relax. It's going to be an awesome day. Corporate is throwing a picnic in the parking lot for lunch, and they ordered tasty catering.
What? Did I miss the memo?
Apparently. It's going to be great. They got burgers, grilled chicken, sides, the works. You know, Tasty Catering's picnic food is excellent.
Oh, yeah, I know. We had them for our holiday party.
Today, they're bringing out the Make Your Own Burger Creation Station. They have everything you can think of, like sriracha, blue cheese crumbles, bacon, sautéed mushrooms, and caramelized onions. And they serve it straight off the grill, the way a great burger should be.
Okay, maybe there's still hope for today. I just hope I don't spill mustard on this new tie. Good thing I've got my bib.
You have a bib?
You don't?
Tasty Catering's picnic menu has all the delicious summertime food favorites you crave and more. Go to tastycatering.com to peruse mouth-watering picnic menus and start planning your picnic today. tastycatering.com.
If you save $500,000 in an IRA or 401k, you know it's not really $500,000, right? Because you still have to pay taxes on that money. But here's something that will shock you. Some people will pay through the nose in taxes when they withdraw money from their retirement accounts, while a smart and savvy few will legally pay far less. Could you potentially save thousands of dollars in taxes on your IRA or 401k and keep this money for yourself? Yes, you could. Learn how in a free report called 6 Ways to Tax-Free Income in Retirement from me, Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour. The free report could save you tens of thousands of dollars. Call 630-873-6326. It's your choice. Pay the IRS or keep this money for yourself. Call 630-873-6326 or visit us on alphawealthgroup.com. That's alphawealthgroup.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Hey, nothing says summer like the smell of a grill, a delicious handcrafted burger, and a cold beer or cocktail. The Country House has been providing just that for over 40 years. Their 3 great locations in Lisle, Clarendon Hills, and Geneva offers great hospitality in a casual neighborhood setting. Try their award-winning Country Burger, half pound of fresh chuck, grilled to perfection and served on dark rye. Country House has several other choices for burgers like bison, elk, turkey, and veggie, and their top drawer burger blends short rib chuck and brisket for an unmatched taste. Take your time looking over the daily specials while you enjoy the spacious deck in Geneva or hang out on the patio in Lisle. And don't forget to join the House Rewards program at Country House and earn points while you dine. All new signups will be entered into a drawing for tickets to see the Northsiders versus the Southsiders. Country House. Visit burger1.com. That's burgerone.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about the intersection of today's summit meeting with the indictments announced by Mueller and telegraphed actually by the House Intelligence Report months earlier. But they were announced by Mueller against 12 Russian intelligence officers on Friday. David in McCook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, happy Monday, guys. I was just going to say, I like Putin better than Nancy Pelosi and Chucky Schumer, because you ever wonder what Putin would do with MS-13 if they were trying to get into his country?
Okay. Yeah, he's had some problem with the Chechens, but okay, thanks for the call, David. And, you know, well, yeah, let's just go to Clay. Clay in Downers Grove, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, Dan and Amy. So I think that we finally have a president who's going to be tough on Russia again. He's pumping NATO back up. He's trying to get our allies to pump it up. And on top of that, he just came off of criticizing Theresa May for Germany buying almost 70 to 80%, I believe, of their upcoming power from Russia. So I think
criticizing Angela Merkel, criticizing Theresa May for her weak tea on Brexit, right?
Yes. Excuse me. Thank you.
All right,
encouraging her to sue the EU.
Ed in Oak Brook.
I keep
transparent about this Russian meddling in the election. And I'll tell you what, I think the liberal media has done more damage to this country and did more collusion and more meddling and more misinformation and done more damage than any foreign country could even dream about. So I don't see where are their indictments for putting out all of this false information. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I mean, and in the indictment, there's no claim that hacking affected our elections. And the charges don't accuse anyone in the U.S. of knowingly helped the Russian hackers.
Devin Nunes, House Intel Chairman, was on with Maria Bartiromo over the weekend talking about the indictments and talking about his committee's report on the activities for which these 12 Russian operatives were indicted that was released to the public on April 27th of this year.
There's more in this report than what's in the indictment. Okay, and this is what's very frustrating. So it's great that they indicted Russians. Yes, they did bad things. I mean, they're always up to bad things. We know that. They have very sophisticated intelligence capabilities in Russia. And they're constantly attacking the United States and our allies. However, in the indictment, they leave out some really important people that they also went after. So the indictment plays like they're only going after the Democrats, when Bob Mueller and all his investigators and his lawyers know for a fact that they also targeted Republicans. Why is that not in the indictment? It makes the indictment look ridiculous.
Yeah, he raises a good point, a couple of good points there, both about the work that the House Intel Committee has done that is sort of repurposed in part in the indictment. Number one. Number two, that there's no partisan affiliation mentioned to a congressional candidate that looked for oppo from a Russian source against his or her opponent. There's just a mention of it without any partisan tags. But we know that there were efforts, if not successful efforts, to hack Republicans as well. Oh, by the way, that includes here in Illinois. In June of 2016, the FBI notified the Illinois Republican Party that some of its email accounts may have been hacked. They didn't tell them that it was part of an investigation into Russian meddling activity, but nonetheless, there were accounts that were hacked.
Yeah, in total, there were 300 people in different organizations. 300 that were attacked by hackers.
The other thing we found out from that indictment is that despite the claim by CrowdStrike, which is a DNC private security firm, that it had expelled all the intruders after they learned their systems had been compromised. The indictment suggests that the Russian hackers had access to the DNC's network until October of 2016, so they didn't get all of them. And that's interesting to note because, you kind of wonder where Deborah Wasserman Schultz's crack ace IT guy, Imran Awan, was when she needed him against those Russian hackers.
We're going to take this call?
Go ahead.
All right. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
A police-involved shooting on the South Side over the weekend generates protests, violent and peaceful. We'll discuss at 5:38.
And it gained national attention. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Partly cloudy skies, warm and muggy, 76. President Trump meets with Russian leader Vladimir Putin today in Helsinki. He was asked about that sit-down during a working breakfast with the Finnish president.
Mr. President, what's your message to President Putin today?
You'll be seeing him in a little while.
What are you going to say to him?
We'll do just fine, thank you.
His meeting with Putin follows word on Friday of new indictments in the Russia probe. Senator Dan Sullivan says Congress and the Trump administration are taking concrete actions against Russia for any meddling and the 2014 annexation of Crimea.
Rebuilding our military. Second, this administration has given lethal weapons, the Javelin anti-tank system, to Ukraine.
On NBC's Meet the Press, the Alaska Republican called the Russian Federation an adversary of the U.S. The suspect accused of shooting 3 Kansas City police officers is dead following a standoff. 2 undercover officers were shot near Highway 40 and Manchester Trafficway in that major city while trying to arrest the suspect on Sunday. A 3rd Kansas City police officer was shot later during that standoff. A wildfire burning near Yosemite National Park in California has killed a man helping fight it. CAL FIRE says Braden Varney died while battling the Ferguson fire in steep terrain west of Yosemite. National Security Advisor John Bolton weighing in this morning, saying President Trump will not ask Vladimir Putin to extradite the Russian military officers who were indicted last week. In other news we're following this morning, several hurt following a four-vehicle crash involving a state trooper's vehicle on the outbound Dan Ryan this early morning. A woman is dead, struck by the CTA's Green Line train near a station on the west side. Police say the incident happened last night at the Cicero Green Line stop. Chicago Police Department letting the public see body cam video of a deadly officer-involved shooting over the weekend in the South Shore neighborhood. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says the department is releasing the video in the interest of transparency and to dispel inaccurate information.
Made the decision to release the body-worn camera footage in this case because the community needs some answers, and they need them now.
Several officers were injured by protesters throwing rocks and bottles following the shooting. Authorities are investigating a possible arson fire in Harvey. Authorities say the blaze broke out early yesterday in a home near 148th and Honore. There were no injuries. Cubs knock off the Padres ahead of the All-Star break, 7-4. White Sox rout the Royals, 10-1. The news service of the Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports. Coaches, parents, students, and administrators visit PCADevZone.org. 5:34, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees a rocky future for the Dems.
The way the Democrats are behaving right now, they're going to drive people right into the arms of the Republican Party, and the Democrats are not going to take the House. I mean, really, come on. Can we be real? Do today's Democrats want to be socialists across the board? Well, if they do, okay. There's a lot more of us than there are of them.
Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. You're welcome, America. That's not a statement a resident of Illinois gets to make very often with sincerity. But the nation owes a debt of gratitude to two Illinoisans who advanced the cause of liberty for millions more Americans through their courage to dissent. Pam Harris and Mark Janis are their names. Pam is the mother of a young man with developmental disabilities who resisted SEIU's attempt to force parents of children with disabilities into its union, literally pitting parents against their children. Pam took her case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in her favor in 2014. That set the table for Mark Janis, a child support specialist for the state of Illinois who challenged his forced membership in and financing of AFSCME. Mark took his case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in his favor in June. Without Harris, there would have been no Janis. Without Janis, public sector workers in 22 states would still be second-class citizens with respect to their First Amendment rights. Courage begets courage. As I know them both, I can tell you what they would say about the history they've made. Don't worry about remembering our names. Focus instead on emulating our example.
5:36. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. At O'Hare this morning, we're seeing delays now on westbound 190. Kennedy Expressway to Tri-State. Kennedy outbound getting just a little congestion approaching that area. Inbound Kennedy still okay, and reversibles are open inbound. Eden's clear. Eisenhower inbound. A little bit of congestion through the avenues. 30 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. On Stevenson slow, Lamont Road to Cass, and in pockets between Harlem and the Ryan. 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound okay. Ryan, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound fine at 15. Earlier wreck, 95th is all cleared. Bishop Ford inbound. 3-minute delay from the Stony Island feeder to the Ryan. Tollways are good. Traffic service of Geico Chicagoland. In Chicago, Geico now has even more ways to help save you money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need, savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue or call 773-582-8888 for Kevin, your local Geico agent. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, partly sunny. Maybe a thunderstorm, hot and humid, a high of 86. Clear to partly cloudy, less humid, low 65, and we break for the middle of the week with beautiful weather. Sunny, high near 80 on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and a chance of a thunderstorm creeping in on Thursday. 76 at O'Hare, 78 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Trump and Putin. We'll talk about it when freedom returns at 5.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. And so over the weekend, apparently we need another expressway shutdown, another violent weekend in Chicago, including perhaps the most high profile of violence, a police-involved shooting in which officers shot and killed 37-year-old Harith Augustus on the south side. This sparking Eddie Johnson, police superintendent, to make the rare decision to release some of the body cam footage just a couple of days after the shooting, the next day actually, and before there is a full investigation into the police-involved shooting, because the shooting and the killing of this 37-year-old sparked unrest in the city on Saturday and protest on Sunday. The unrest on Saturday included protesters tossing rocks, bottles of water, and urine, jumping on police cars. A.J. Guglielmi, who's the spokesman for CPD, said in part he thought the crowd was incited by false reports, including that the suspect that was shot and killed was unarmed or had a concealed carry permit.
His street name is Snoops, and he's a well-known barber. It happened at 71st Street, and it was in broad daylight. So they released two versions of the video, body camera video. There's no audio with it, or else we'd play it for you. But there's 3 police officers. They confront him on the street. Again, it's 5:30 at night, so the sun's still out. And one officer tries to talk to him, and he lifts up his shirt a little, and you could see a gun, a holster, and they say he also had magazines on him. But they're trying, and then there's a white police officer, female, who's trying to grab his arm, and he flicks her off and starts running away. And while he's running, he looks as though he's reaching for his weapon.
So, first of all, police rolled up on him because it looked like he had a gun on him. So they rolled up on him to do a stop and check, which they haven't been doing because they don't feel like they've got the civilian political authority backing on the street. And so it has put police on their heels, which is not good for neighborhood safety, as evidenced by the crime stats in the city. So that's why they stopped him in the first place. Or came up on him in the first place.
And that's why protesters were upset, because they said there was no need to even talk to him. There was no need to question him about anything.
Yeah. And so then they have that conversation you described. But then when they go to touch him, then he recoils, he spins around, then his shirt comes up, and you see, and at least at ABC7, they stopped the footage there, so you can see that he's got a holstered gun and at least one magazine on his belt. The police recovered a gun and 2 magazines, in fact. And he spins out into the street. Another cruiser pulls up, and it looks like, and that's what the officer said, it looks like he's going for his gun, and that's when they shoot.
And it's so, it happened in a split second, really. And then you put this thing in your mind, what would I do if I was in that situation? Here is Superintendent Eddie Johnson.
These things happen in a split second, and officers have to make decisions quickly. They don't have the luxury of looking at video later. So I'm going to let COPA do their investigation because I don't want to adversely harm it.
Yeah, but the thing is that 4 police officers were hurt. There was an instant.
Were hurt.
In the riot on Saturday night. 4 protesters were arrested. It was some pretty scary times for officers. There was an all call for everyone to get down to that location because the crowd was out of control. But the crowd was wrong. And even somebody in the crowd said, he had a concealed carry. He's a good man. People love him here. And there was other things.
And how many times do you got to say it has to stop? How many times do you got to let people know, that you don't want to continue to see young black men gunned down the street.
By police officers.
Yeah, so a couple of things here. One is this just in, for folks that are unaware, probably not in our audience, but concealed carry permit does not give you the right to break the law. A concealed carry permit does not give you the right to resist arrest or assault police officers. I don't know if this is confusing to people, but a concealed carry permit is, you're not 007, okay? That's number one. Number two, yeah, the police violence must stop. Look, any police-involved shooting, one inappropriate police-involved shooting is too many. Let me just do the normal caveats here. That's number one. Number two, obviously the police are and should be held to a different standard than civilians when it comes to the use of force because they are agents of the state, which has a monopoly on the use of force. So those are the caveats. But let's just look at the data here in terms of the epidemic of police violence against young black men. So far in Chicago, year to date, there have been 295 murders, 243 shootings. 80% plus are African Americans, victims, as well as those who've been arrested. And remember, only a fraction of the crimes are ever cleared, fraction of murders. In 2018 so far, police-involved shootings, and this is not to make a determination on the appropriateness of the police-involved shootings, but just the raw stats, 4 killed, 9 wounded. Okay. 295, 243 guns, general public. Police-involved shootings, this is heyjackass.com, by the way, which is the site of record when it comes to violent crime stats in Chicago. 4 killed and 9 wounded.
And police are under attack. Look what happened this weekend. We had 3 police officers in Kansas City that were shot. You had a police officer in Massachusetts. A guy hit him with a rock, took his weapon, and killed him and another woman.
Yeah, so the one in Massachusetts is interesting, too, because in terms of, like, not using the use of force when it may be justified. So this police officer in Massachusetts, his name is Michael Chesno. He's 42 years old. He served our country in the military, too. There was the perpetrator, this guy.
Wasn't he inside someone's home or vandalizing a home?
Emmanuel Lopez, yeah, but that's not how it started. He was in a car crash, or he crashed his car. He gets out. He's on foot, and there's a police search for this guy. Then he is discovered by the officer vandalizing a nearby home. The officer draws his gun. He commands Lopez to stop. The suspect somehow attacked Chesno with a stone, struck him in the head, got his weapon, and then he essentially executed him. Ugh. And it was a stray bullet that killed an elderly woman in a nearby house as well from Mr. Lopez's gun, according to the Associated Press report on this. But so just think about that circumstance where he sees him vandalizing a home, he draws his weapon, and for some reason he chose not to use deadly force. The officer, he gets hit, the guy attacks him, he gets hit by this rock. He takes his weapon. Right, he's rendered helpless, takes his weapon, and the guy executes him.
Well, in this Chicago police shooting, the problem is, too, the officer who was involved in the shooting, well, he's been placed on administrative leave, but he was in his probationary period. So he's recently new to the force. So I don't know if that's going to play a part when COPA investigates, or
I don't know if that's a problem or not. It's how many years on the force? What does that matter? It's either the circumstances in that incident. Was it appropriate to use the force that was used? And I think when you've got somebody who is resisting arrest and appearing to go for their belt, where you have seen now they have a weapon.
And when he spun off to run away, then there's another Chicago cop car coming into the picture.
Yeah, right.
Whatever happened to lasers? And I'm not
lasers.
I'm not criticizing Chicago police.
What's a laser?
A laser gun or a taser gun? Excuse me.
Tasers.
Whatever happened to?
Well,
would a taser have sufficed, or what would you have done when you looked at the body cam video? Would you have done exactly what that officer did?
It's hard to put yourself in that situation, but if I'm up against somebody with a gun, I don't want to take a chance on a taser. I want to essentially disable the assailant. And so you shoot center mass, and that's what they did.
And that's what they're trained to do.
If he's a concealed, I mean, look, this argument about like something like history informing people's behavior with police. I don't understand it. If he is a legal CCW holder, if he was,
right,
then just comply with the police. And if he's not, then how do you think this is going to end? You think you're going to get away from police, run away? Then you're going to have to take the hit on the unlawful possession of a weapon charge, and adjudicate the matter, or have the matter adjudicated. But resisting police when you're armed, resisting police generally, bad idea. Resisting police when you're armed, worse idea. So I don't want to see anybody killed either. And by the way, I don't think the Chicago police officers wanted to kill that guy they rolled up on either. But at the one hand, you have all of the screeching for getting guns off the streets, gun control, police not doing their jobs, police not patrolling, or there's not enough police presence in neighborhoods like South Shore protecting the law-abiding residents there, on the one hand. On the other hand, they have a situation like this, and then it's police, lynching a black man on the streets, the kind of rhetoric you're hearing from certain quarters.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Mike on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Amy, you're off the rails. You're almost as bad as those protesters.
I'm not throwing bottles of urine at police officers, but go ahead.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. You're saying they should use a taser. So somebody comes at you with a gun, why don't you just get him a feather sword from Wiggle Worms and let the cops tickle everybody? They're saying the protesters, these idiots from the news, put a camera in front of their face. Oh, well, they didn't know he was going to kill anybody. So we let him shoot people first? I mean, the cops can't win. There's a social contract in this country. You want to be treated with respect by the police, you have to obey the law. Now, did anybody in the press think, hey, let's run this guy's record? Let's see if he has a police record. What's he doing with a gun? Does he have a FOID card? Does he have a conceal and carry?
He doesn't have a conceal
Nobody
carry.
cares about that.
No, they said that.
Then
he
doesn't. Was breaking the law.
Well, they're running right in his gun right now to see if it was a stolen weapon, who it belonged to, where he might have purchased it.
Yeah,
did he have a criminal record?
We
don't know.
We don't know what the police knew when they rolled up on him either, because they probably didn't have all of this information either.
Does he have gang tattoos? Does he have the teardrop tattoo by his eye, meaning he's been to prison?
Well, all we know is he works out.
Thanks for the call, Mike.
Too soon?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, again, you have to take these circumstances with the available information you have, and then assess what the police did in context of what the suspect did.
Well, Channel 7 reported the community wanted foot patrol officers back on the streets,
right,
in South Shore on 71st Street specifically. So they did that, and this happened.
Philip in Blue Island, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning to you both. It was a foot patrol that they first encountered this young man with this gun.
Right.
After the foot patrol, then the radio calls and all this stuff. And actually, there was one call posted where they told them to turn off their cams, but that's irrelevant. The second thing, if there's a lot of black on black crime, honestly, that you already just quoted the numbers. And so if I'm just a regular individual, it's hard for me to get a gun in the city of Chicago legally and to protect myself. And then I got to worry about the police. So I was telling your producer, it's like a circular firing squad that a lot of people, myself and others, are living in the city of Chicago. So we got to worry about our neighbors. We got to worry about the police. And we just trying to protect our family. So
why is
him
it
having the gun?
Why is it difficult to get a gun in the city if you're a law-abiding person?
I mean, because you're black.
You can't. Black people can't buy guns. The law-abiding black people can't buy guns. Where? Where's that?
Let me say this. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not always right. But let me say this. Isn't it illegal to own guns in the city of Chicago?
Not anymore.
Welcome to the post-Heller world, there, Philip. You can own guns in the city of Chicago.
Don't be.
No, it's okay.
Sorry?
It's all right. No, I spoke with somebody yesterday, Philip, who asked me the same thing. He said, well, I don't have a gun because it's illegal. And I said,
Not illegal.
That decision was overturned by the Supreme Court.
Not illegal.
How long ago was that, Dan?
This is 5 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, not illegal.
Well,
I mean, but one thing I will say, Philip, what has been essentially prevented by the Democrats in charge of the city is for like gun shops in the city of Chicago through, the licensing and zoning requirements. And so I think there should be legal gun shops for for law-abiding persons, so you don't have to drive out to the suburbs to get a gun to be able to protect yourself and your family in your neighborhood, as you're suggesting. And that would require, I guess, a leadership change in the city of Chicago, because that's why there's no gun shops, gun ranges in Chicago.
Well, my mantra is, if nothing changes, nothing changes, and there has to be a lot of changes with the Laquan McDonald, that whole experience with Rahm Emanuel. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, and the leadership in Chicago. And then you got a John Burge who were terrorizing black people back in the 60s and 70s. So there's a history there of the relationship with the city and the black people in the city of Chicago and the Chicago police. So we can't act like, there's no history here.
No, there's history.
There's been violence.
There's history.
Okay.
There's history, and I can see the history. But I mean, to your point about if you want things to change, you have to change. You have to make it. Yeah, there has to be an assessment of the police today, not everybody is John Burge. Well, that's not fair, and that's not sensible either. And so I just go back again. I mean, the idea of resisting arrest that is not going to turn out well. Just don't do that, and then let the justice system work itself out, and you would avoid something like this 37-year-old man being killed over the weekend.
With no record. He had no police record whatsoever. So I wish
I'm not
things
saying
worked out differently.
Yeah, I'm not saying he did. I mean, it seems like it was completely unnecessary. Even if he would have had to take a gun charge because he didn't have a right to carry permit. Take the gun charge then, I mean, don't put yourself in a position to get killed. Thanks for the call, Philip. Frank in St. Charles.
Good morning. If you were to ask the average black family that has a teenage son, your teenage son goes out at night with his buddies, what would be your number one fear? I have a feeling a lot of them would say the police, which statistics completely blow that one away.
Right. Thanks for the call, Frank.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
My Pacifica Hybrid, America's first and only hybrid minivan, is so quiet I can finally hear myself think. I should totally adopt a puppy. Ugh, what are you talking about? I have too many nice shoes. I also have a 566-mile driving range. Chrysler really gave 110% making this bad boy. Oops, green light.
Introducing the 84 MPGe Pacifica Hybrid. Chrysler Pacifica. Up your van game. Based on latest available competitive information, range based on manufacturer estimates, EPA estimate with a fully charged battery and estimated miles per gallon of gasoline equivalent MPGe. Actual mileage may vary. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
What interest rate would you rather pay on your credit card debt? 17% or less than 6% APR? The answer is obvious, LightStream. Because with LightStream, you may be able to consolidate credit card debt and dramatically cut your interest rate to as low as 5.89% APR with AutoPay. Plus, radio listeners get an additional rate discount. Just go to lightstream.com/act. With average interest rates on credit card debt at 17% APR, LightStream could save you thousands in interest. And because LightStream is a division of SunTrust Bank, one of the nation's largest and strongest financial institutions, you can have complete peace of mind. The application takes just minutes, and there are no fees and no pressure. Just lower rates, one low fixed monthly payment, and huge savings. So if you have good credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount when you go to lightstream.com/act. That's lightstream.com/act. lightstream.com/act.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.5% autopay discount. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for more information.
5:57. Let's get a check on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. I-90 eastbound Adams Tollway. Stop and go for the Tri-State out of the Kennedy. Those delays continue to Cumberland. There's some more heavy pockets. Nagle to Foster. It's looking at about 23 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 29. Delays start at Montrose. Continue to westbound 190. Just heavy Kennedy to the tri-state. Eden's okay. Eisenhower inbound. Slow pocket start around 17th. 35 minutes, 390 to downtown. How about 29? Stevenson, 41 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop Ford got a 5-minute delay, 111th to the merge. Northbound Tri-State tight from the Reagan Tollway to the Ike. Traffic service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, supporting victims of drunk driving, drug driving, and underage drinking at no charge. Call their 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP. Visit mad.org. That's MADD.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a shower or thunderstorm. Warm and humid with air quality unhealthy for sensitive groups. High today, 86. Less humid later tonight, otherwise mainly clear, low 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
76, hot and humid right now. Next news update is coming up at 6:30. The news, a service of Geico Chicagoland. Hey, Chicago Geico now has even more ways to help you save money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need with the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue. Call 773-582-8888 for Kevin, your local Geico agent. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560, The Answer. Several hurt following a 4-vehicle crash this morning on the outbound Dan Ryan. Woman is dead, struck by a CTA Green Line train on Chicago's west side. It will soon be easier for a judge in Illinois to take someone's gun away. Governor Rauner is due in Chicago later this morning to sign a new law that allows a family member or local law enforcement agency to ask a judge to issue that emergency order. Chicago PD letting the public see body cam video of a deadly officer-involved shooting over the weekend in the South Shore neighborhood. Cubs knock off the Padres. White Sox rout the Royals. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Both President Trump and Vladimir Putin have arrived at a palace in Helsinki, Finland. I'm Dave Anthony, and that's where they will sit down to talks. Earlier, the president said,
I think NATO's probably never been stronger than it is today.
He tweeted, our allies had a great summit, inaccurately covered by the media. He also tweeted, our relationship with Russia has never been worse. Fox's Simon Owens live in Helsinki.
Dave, President Putin kept President Trump waiting. The Russian leader was half an hour late landing in Finland, but both men have now arrived at Helsinki's presidential palace. President Trump looking stony-faced as he walked in. They're meeting first one-on-one, accompanied only by translators, before advisors will be brought in for a second, larger discussion. They're expected to cover Syria, Ukraine, nuclear weapons, and Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Dave?
And Simon, some Democrats like Senator Chris Coons are wary of this Trump-Putin meeting.
He's not meeting with a competitor. He's not meeting with a potential friend. He's meeting with an adversary.
Other Democrats had called on the president to cancel this get-together with Vladimir Putin after last week's indictment of 12 Russian intelligence officials for 2016 campaign interference. Chicago police have released body cam footage of the officer shooting that left a man dead, prompting a weekend of protests.
Calm down. I know everybody is emotionally heightened. I get that. But at the same time, we have a process in place, and if we have to hold individuals accountable, we will.
Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson, some had claimed Harith Augustus was not armed, but footage shows he had a gun and ammo in his waistband. Augustus ran from officers, appeared to reach toward his waist when he was shot. 3 police officers were shot and wounded in Kansas City, Missouri yesterday afternoon after they tracked down a suspect in the murder of a college student from India earlier this month. That suspect died in the exchange of gunfire with the cops, whose injuries are not considered life-threatening. Fox News, fair and balanced.
As press secretary for President Trump, Sean Spicer had a front row seat to history. And in his new book, he reveals details about what really happened behind the scenes during the campaign and the early days of the administration. On Wednesday, August 8th, Sean Spicer is coming to Chicago. Meet Sean Spicer and get a copy of his new book, The Briefing, at the Museum of Broadcast Communications. Tickets are absolutely free. Thanks to healthinsurancementors.com. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/briefing. That's 560theanswer.com/briefing.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on a great lineup of Ford SUVs. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Not available on Expedition. For all offers, take new retail delivery from authorized Ford dealer stock by 7/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
I love my Catholic school. It's where I learn to make the right choices and lead by example. And I receive a well-rounded education because over 81% of students in our schools participate in at least one extracurricular activity.
You just heard my daughter talk about why she loves her Catholic school. And as a parent, I may not be able to control what is happening in our culture, but I can control how my children are educated. I do that by sending them to a Catholic school where they are formed in the image of Jesus Christ so that they have the moral foundation to make the right choices based on the teachings of the Catholic Church. If you want to provide your child with a moral compass to navigate our culture, consider sending him or her to a Catholic school.
Now you can join me at my school. Participating Catholic schools in the Joliet Diocese, in conjunction with the Catholic Education Foundation, are offering transfer grants of $1,500 to elementary school students and $3,000 to high school students who transfer from public, private, charter, or homeschool. Restrictions apply. For more information, go to weteachmore.com.
Did you know that you could drive 5 different brand new Metro Fords for less than $8 per day? Metro Ford introduces the Easy Ford Upgrade Program. It's easy, it's fast, and you could be driving the nicer, newer vehicle you deserve for less than $8 per day. Now's the time to upgrade to a new Ford Fiesta, Focus, Fusion, EcoSport, or Escape for less than $8 per day at Metro Ford. All credit is considered and no proof of income is needed. Metro Ford specializes in drivers with fixed incomes, including Social Security, disability, and retirement. Good credit, bad credit, or no credit. See Metro Ford today and drive today. Metro Ford is located at 6455 Southwestern Avenue in Chicago. Or visit Metro Ford online today at emetroford.com. Since 1984, Metro Fords are everywhere. Make the easy upgrade and put one in your driveway. emetroford.com. This hourly segment is brought to you by 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO.com. Call 773-447-5448 and get the sun out of your eyes.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and Trump and Putin. Their summit meeting is underway. The word is that Trump opened with Comrade Putin. In America, you can always find a party. In Soviet Russia, the party can always find you.
That's good.
And other Yakov Smirnoff one-liners.
It's not as if they've met before, but they're having this closed-door, one-on-one meeting.
Yeah, they should
That's
meet.
not being recorded. It's going to last 90 minutes, and they'll bring in their advisors, and they're going to have the big press conference.
They should have done it in Branson, so they
Branson,
could have taken in a
Missouri?
show. They could have taken a Yakov Smirnoff, seen the Gatlin brothers. I think it would have been a nicer day for them, but that's not happening. So we'll talk a little bit later in the show to Bill Getz, senior editor of the Washington Free Beacon, national security expert, about the summit. We'll pick that up as well. But speaking of communist thugs, Hillary Clinton was in Pittsburgh with the American Federation of Teachers this weekend, where
she being celebrated for what?
She was the recipient of the Women's Rights Award.
Oh,
that the
excuse me. I didn't
AFT
know.
confers. Listen to Randy Weingarten, the Lord of the Rings character that heads AFT, introducing one Hillary Clinton. Get a load of Randy Weingarten.
Every 2 years, the AFT presents the Women's Rights Award to a woman whose vision and courage has changed the game for other women. Now, we normally do this
Can't accept.
at our breakfast on the last day of the convention, but we really wanted to do this on the first day with all of us here. Because this year's recipient is that force in our politics, in our culture, and in our work that is one of the exceptional people for the millennia.
I still have no idea. I wouldn't know who she's talking about.
She has worked
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
not only to make democracy a more equal place for all people, she has worked in all ways such that when the roll call of history is taken, there is no doubt that Hillary Clinton's life and accomplishments will stand tall.
Oh, no question. I wish you would tick off some of those accomplishments so we could all bask in the glow that you're describing. But it wasn't to be. Hillary Clinton came out, of course, thanked all of her apparatchiks. By the way, just American Federation of Teachers, along with the NEA, the two biggest teachers unions in the country. So teachers out there, you're welcome for the Janus decision. You're welcome, unless you are, a leftist apparatchik. Listen to what's happening at that American Federation of Teachers, their annual convention in Pittsburgh this year, and Randy Weingarten talking about Hillary Clinton. It's incredible. And then you get Hillary Clinton up there, particularly male teachers. Get a load of Hillary Clinton as if you hadn't had enough of her over the last 25 years.
And I suspect, I may be pushing this, but I suspect I'm not the only person here who remembers playing girls half-court basketball. They wouldn't let us run on the full court.
Oh, further.
Well, thankfully,
Because of the cankles. She couldn't run at full court.
not only play on the full court, they have more opportunities than ever to
we've-
excel in sports and school and beyond. And
We have the WNBA. Woo!
Yeah.
I love the layups in the lane. I mean, it's fascinating.
You have the WNBA thanks to the NBA, which subsidizes it.
I know.
Otherwise, the
That'd be-
WNBA wouldn't exist.
That's fine.
But Hillary
No, it's-
Clinton, I mean, she had her professional basketball career cut short. She could have been feeding Brittany Griner in the post, but for having to be limited to a half court.
Back in the day, ask anybody who's older than 65, they did not have women's sports back then.
Yeah.
They just didn't. They had synchronized swimming. So my mom is the best 6'2" synchronized swimmer in Skokie.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. You should see her in a pool. Wow,
She's-
she tears it up.
She's also the
That's all
only
they had
person
for
over
women.
6 foot in Skokie.
6'2" in 5th grade.
Now, Hillary Clinton was there, of course, to bash the Trump administration, and she didn't disappoint the assembled Reds.
we have never seen such organized cruelty, disdain, and contempt for those values. People used to hide the way they felt. You know, they wouldn't come right out and say what they were thinking, which was good. That's part of the process of civilization. But boy, not today. Over the last 18 months, this administration has tried to rip away health coverage for millions and to end coverage for people with pre-existing conditions. They've given tax cuts to the wealthiest few, and they've paid for them on the backs of children and working families. They've gutted funding for public schools and universities, and they've rolled back protections against discrimination for students.
Isn't this uncivilized, saying what you think?
And unimaginably, they have ripped children away from their parents. They have forced toddlers as young as 1-year-olds to appear in court. I find this beyond politics, the inhumanity of it, the disgrace, the indecency of it should incite all of us to know that we are not those people.
Oh,
those people.
Those people, the deplorables, you know.
Just
those
saying.
people. And, you know, the Trump regime trying to tear the heart right out of America. So this is a great run-up speech to 2020.
And why do they do these things? Ideology, religion, corporate power.
Religion's bad.
They have a lot of rationales and excuses. But the net result is that they are trying to rip the heart out of America. They want to turn us into transactional units where I get this and you get that, and it's like a man eat man, woman eat woman society. They want to turn us against each other.
Says the half of the team that ran the Clinton Global Initiative with their $500,000 speaking fees in front of those big corporate powers that repel her so.
I wonder how much she charged the teachers union for that appearance.
Those foreign countries that repel her so, including adversaries of the United States and places where women do not have equal rights under the law and gay people are persecuted and so forth. Oh, boy, the moralizing from one Hillary Clinton. And it's interesting because this is against the backdrop of a New York Times piece this weekend profiling, you know, the 5 Democrat candidates that are really moving fast towards 2020. There's probably 24 more, but they profile Bernie Sanders and Cory Booker and Kamala Harris and Pocahontas as the 5 senators that are really trying to lay the groundwork for a 2020 run. And there's Hillary Clinton getting an award at the AFT.
Do you think she's going to run
I sure
in
hope
2020?
so. I mean, I can't get enough of that rhetoric.
It's very compelling. It's very deep. Deep thoughts.
Particularly coming from her. It's so authentic. And I don't think that the nation and the Democrat Party in 2008 and 2016, combined with just the critical mass that has been built up over the last 25 years of her in the public eye, I don't think we've gotten enough Hillary Clinton. I, for one, want more. I want her to be the nominee again in 20.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, first Grenaderators. Arming.
I prefer Kindergardians.
Kindergarten's good. Guns for Toddlers program. Yeah, it was on Showtime last night. And the politicians who got duped, including one you know. Today, partly sunny with a thunderstorm. It's very hot and humid. The humidity is high. It's in the upper 90 percentile. Today, we're going to have a high temperature of 86 degrees. Then the rain's going to come, the thunderstorm, and things will cool down a little bit, a low of 65. And for tomorrow, mostly sunny, just pleasant, less humid, a high of 80 degrees. Any drama on the roadways? Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Good morning. Well, the earlier drama on the outbound Ryan is gone. Thankfully, there was a significant wreck outbound at 95th Street that had everything blocked, but all lanes are open and traffic moves without delay on the outbound Ryan. Inbound, of course, it's slow going from Stevenson to downtown Chicago. 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, just a 2-minute delay, Cottage Grove to the merge, and I-57's clear. Eden's inbound, just a little tight approaching the junction. Kennedy, 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 36, and 190's gummed up to Kennedy to Manheim. Eisenhower, 38 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Stevenson, 42 minutes, 355 to the drive. On the Veterans Memorial northbound, there's a new roadwork configuration, Butterfield to Roosevelt, where there's an express lane. Right now, traffic's moving well, but this could jam up a little more than usual later this morning. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, your kids won't be thinking about school very much this summer, but it's the perfect time for you to think about where you'd like to send your child back to school this fall. More and more parents are thinking about private schools, and maybe that's you. Maybe private school has never been affordable, but thanks to our friends at halfpriceschools.com, you can do it. There's no catch. Just go to their website, halfpriceschools.com, and find a school near you. There's St. Paul Lutheran School in Aurora, Emmanuel Lutheran School in Palatine. I've been there a few times. That's a great place. Daystar School in Chicago's South Loop. The list goes on and on. But don't delay. Summer won't last forever, and these vouchers always sell out. Go to halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Looking for a fun summer vacation idea? Charlottesville in Albemarle County, Virginia is a short and easy trip with daily nonstop flights on 2 airlines from O'Hare. Tour the homes of former presidents Jefferson, Monroe, and Madison. Sip wine at one of the area's 30-plus wineries. Take a hike in Shenandoah National Park. Dine al fresco at one of the many farm-to-table restaurants, or stroll down one of the longest pedestrian malls in the country. Plan your trip today at visitcharlottesville.org.
Your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
My husband's blood pressure has dropped 30 points. I've lost 8 pounds. He's lost about 20 pounds. His arthritis is gone. You guys have given me back my husband. I'd come home from work, and if he beat me home from work, he would be laying in the recliner, and I would feed him supper in his recliner and would be like really boring, pathetic old people watching TV while we ate dinner and then go to bed exhausted and wake up tired. I came home from work last night, and he was mowing the lawn. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
When the Senate was debating cutting taxes, Senator Joe Donnelly told us this.
If they bring a good tax bill before me that helps middle-class families, count me in every time.
But how did Senator Donnelly actually vote? Listen to President Trump.
Joe Donnelly voted no on tax cuts.
The Trump tax cuts are working for Indiana. Middle-class families will receive a tax cut of more than $2,000. Thanks to tax cuts, Hoosier businesses are hiring, raising wages, and paying employee bonuses. But Senator Donnelly voted no. It's time for Joe Donnelly to change course on tax cuts. Call Senator Joe Donnelly, 202-224-4814. Tell him the Trump tax cuts are working and to vote yes on S2687 to make our tax reforms permanent. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
AM 560. The Answer.
The reviews are in before Sacha Baron Cohen's new series, Who is America, previewed or aired yesterday night on Showtime.
It's a half-hour show.
And, the Daily Beast, some critic at the Daily Beast gives it a thumbs up. But it was interesting to me, the reviews by Hollywood Reporter and also at Deadline, it just hammered it as lame. Like, when he was the Ali G character was great. Borat, pretty good. But a couple of perspectives that suggest this is sort of lame. The Deadline.com critic writing, for the most part, Cohen targets an easily pummeled straw dog selection of well-heeled, Trump-supporting and drink-sipping South Carolinians, gun rights activists like the well-named Larry Pratt, and pliable SoCal art gallery owners. There's also the expected washed-up politicians, talking heads, and reality show contestants with defecation gags galore, a kindergarten's gun-arming child program, sex with a porpoise, and a flag menstruation anecdote.
Okay.
I mean, so there's your, so it's just like for cheap shock value, but it's not clever or expository the way that Ali G was. The Hollywood Reporter review makes the claim that it's 2018 and shame is dead. Shame was the secret ingredient to the Ali G show. Shame is the missing ingredient in Who is American. Unfortunately, it's not an ingredient that proves merely incidental. It's the difference between shocking and not shocking, between being hilarious and simply fleetingly funny. Cohen really hasn't gotten anybody to espouse any ideology that they wouldn't have and haven't advocated proudly without the subterfuge. I don't know about that.
He tried
I don't know
for
about that.
several I gotcha moments, and he faked out our coworker Joe Walsh, basically flew him to Washington, D.C., put him up at a hotel, gave him this fake Friend of Israel award, and then made him...
He's presenting himself as like a Mossad officer.
Right, but then when he got here, too, and people should know this, Sacha Baron Cohen did not interview him or, pretending to be a disabled veteran like he did for Sarah Palin. It was one of the producers who interviewed him, and then they put a teleprompter in front of him and asked him to read from it about this, Guns for Toddlers program.
The intensive 3-week kindergarten course introduces specially selected children from 12 to 4 years old to pistols, rifles, semi-automatics, and a rudimentary knowledge of mortars. In less than a month,
mortars, really?
Less than a month, a first grader can become a first grenader.
The first grenader, that's what it was. That's the first grenader. I know. Let it breathe. Okay, laugh. But he wasn't alone. So remember Joe Wilson, who called President Obama a liar during the State of the Union address? He's back, and they confronted him and asked him about this Guns for Toddlers program.
A 3-year-old cannot defend itself from an assault rifle by throwing a Hello Kitty pencil case at it. Our founding fathers did not put an age limit on the Second Amendment.
Joe Wilson sounds like he's having trouble reading.
Yeah, well, Congressman Gatzum, I hope I'm pronouncing
Matt
it correct.
Gaetz, he's the only one who didn't get spoofed, apparently.
He didn't, and then Trent Lott's there, too.
You can Typically, members of Congress don't just hear a story about a program and then indicate whether they support it or not.
I support the kindergartens program. We in America would be wise to implement it, too. It's something that we should think about in America, about putting guns in the hands of law-abiding citizens, good guys, whether they be teachers or whether they actually be talented children or highly trained preschoolers.
Highly trained preschoolers.
So they were taking this, and I spoke with Joe Walsh on Saturday at Rockin' for Our Troops, and he said, they put it's this program that they told him was going on or about to take place in Israel, and they wanted to implement it here in the States. Oh, yeah.
When it comes to the safety of our children,
the way to stop a bad guy with a gun
is a good kid with a gun.
A good kid with a gun.
A good child with a gun. Happy shooting, kids.
I mean, when Walsh tweeted out that, okay, Sacha Baron Cohen, you got me, he was sort of understating how badly he got gotten, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that is... I mean, what?
He said that he saw Borat. He thinks Sacha Baron Cohen is funny, but
sometimes.
The part with Sarah Palin has not aired yet, or the part with Dick Cheney has not aired yet. But he did sit down with Larry Pratt, who's the executive director emeritus and Gun Owners of America, and conversation got a little uncomfortable.
Women need a gun, my wife, she have a gun, and she shot me once. What can I do? I get horny in the middle of the night, but it's not rape if it's your wife, eh? Right.
That probably won't be on the video we send to the Hill.
Oh, no.
He's trying to have fun at his expense, trying to, bait him along, like, come on, laugh with me, let's be friends. And at the end, they made him read a statement off the teleprompter, too, that involves rock bands.
Toddlers are pure, uncorrupted by fake news or homosexuality. They don't worry if it's politically correct to shoot a mentally deranged gunman. They'll just do it. The science behind this program is proven. At age 4, a child processes images 80% faster than an adult, meaning that essentially, like owls, they can see in slow motion. Children under 5 also have elevated levels of the pheromone Blink-182, produced by the part of the liver known as the Rita Ora. This allows nerve reflexes to travel along the Cardi B neural pathway to the Wiz Khalifa 40% faster, saving time and saving lives.
When it comes to the safety of our children,
the way to stop a bad guy with a gun
is a good kid with a gun.
I mean, now the Walshes have hired an attorney just in case later on during the series, if they superimpose the person who was asking the questions with Sacha Baron Cohen, because that's a misrepresentation. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or should we just let this
Good
go?
luck with that. Okay. Yeah.
312-642-5600, our Turnkey Depro answer line.
I mean, honestly, this is Ron Burgundy stuff. This is like you're a caricature of yourself. What the hell is Larry Pratt doing? And the others.
A pheromone Blink 182. It's a pheromone.
I'm not surprised Larry Pratt hasn't heard of Blink 182 and Cardi B. So that's actually like funny, and less of a head scratcher than kindergartens, first graders. You know what you're reading. You understand what these words are.
They thought, again, that was a program being implemented in Israel because a lot of the teachers are armed and some students, but then they said that program might come here.
Did you find that defense persuasive?
No. First
right.
graders.
Thank you. Paul in New Lenox.
Hi, guys. Hey, didn't Mel Gibson already prove that this would work? I mean, look at the movie The Patriot.
Sure.
Yeah. This kid.
Yeah,
you aim small, you miss small.
Yeah, that was yeah, right. That was a documentary, as I understand it, The Patriot.
Yeah, it was another documentary. And one more comment I want to make. I wanted to make a comment with the Hillary thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a dope smoker, but I'll tell you what, the dope she's on, I want to try some because she's got some great hallucinations going. And I think Peter Strzok, I like to call him Strzok, he's living in Fantasyland, so he must be on the same stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to comment about great show again. Keep it going.
Thanks for the call, Paul. It would make the days go by faster if we were on the same stuff as Hillary, probably. You're right. Greg in Schaumburg.
Dan, I think you ought to do this because I know what would happen if they interviewed you. You would grab the script, edit it, make them look like fools, ask them to read it, and they wouldn't understand a word if they said the words would be too big.
Yeah, turn the spoof on them. Thanks, Greg.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, we're going to talk about Peter Strzok's performance on Friday, as well as those indictments handed down by Mueller. Peter Strzok's performance on Thursday, as well as the Mueller indictments handed down on Friday with Andy McCarthy from National Review at 6:36.
And later, Black Hawk Down will explain. But
oh my God.
No.
So terrible.
You rewind that.
So
try again.
She's trying to out Sacha Baron Cohen. Baron Cohen.
Yes.
That's what,
I'm going to get another
disgusted.
voicemail. I'm going to get another email. I'm sorry.
We're going to take you out back and.
I'm really sorry. Let's send it into the news.
Thank you. I'll talk about Ray Emery in just a moment. 76 degrees. We have clear skies, but it's hot and humid already this morning, and a hot and humid day set for the entire daylight hours, and a break in the weather coming up for later in the week. Talks are underway between President Trump and Russian leader Vladimir Putin. They're sitting down one-on-one at the presidential palace in Helsinki. President Trump says Queen Elizabeth is wise, Russian leader Putin a competitor, Kim Jong-un ruthless. But he also says so are a lot of other people in speaking with British journalist Piers Morgan on the ITV channel.
Did you discuss Brexit with the Queen?
I did.
What did she say?
She said and she's right, it's a very complex problem.
Did she give any clue as to which way?
Well, I can't talk. I've heard very strongly from a lot of people, you just don't talk about that conversation with the Queen, right?
The president in the interview also blamed President Obama for separating children from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border, something the Trump administration gained global attention for with its zero-tolerance immigration policy. The U.S. is back working with North Korea to try and bring home remains of thousands of U.S. soldiers who went missing during the Korean War. The two sides held talks on the issue over the weekend. The suspect accused of shooting 3 Kansas City, Missouri police officers is dead following a standoff. Police Chief Rick Smith.
All 3 detectives were transported to a local hospital. All right now appear to have non-life-threatening injuries, thank God. 2
undercover police detectives were shot outside of a motel late yesterday morning following a suspect who was considered a person of interest in the shooting death of a University of Missouri-Kansas City student earlier this month. A Pennsylvania woman is charged with allegedly poisoning her baby with drug-laden breast milk. Bucks County DA announcing over the weekend that Samantha Jones has been indicted for the death of her 11-week-old son. The mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota, urging a city council candidate to drop out of that race after he posted a topless picture of his estranged wife on his campaign website. It's not the first time David Martinez has been in trouble recently. He was kicked out of Target Field during a baseball game and banned for a year for certain things that he did during that game. Several are hurt following a 4-vehicle crash involving a state trooper on the outbound Dan Ryan here in Chicago. All of those hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries this morning. A woman is dead, struck by a CTA train at a Green Line station. A portion of the Green Line was shut down after the incident last night near the Cicero Green Line stop. Chicago Police Department letting the public see body cam video of that deadly officer-involved shooting over the weekend in the South Shore neighborhood. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson
made the decision to release the body-worn camera footage in this case because the community needs some answers, and they need them now.
The video appears to show a man involved, Harith Augustus, break away from officers and then reach toward a gun on his hip. The Blackhawks are mourning the death of former goalie Ray Emery. 35-year-old drowned yesterday while swimming with friends in Hamilton, Ontario. Hawks released a statement saying the franchise will fondly remember him, especially as a member of the 2013 Stanley Cup winning squad. Cubs knock off the Padres 7-4 in San Diego. White Sox rout the Royals 10-1 in Chicago. There's a home run derby tonight, previewing the All-Star Game slugfest, and the Bulls have signed former Buck Jabari Parker to a 2-year deal. The news service of Compassion International. For just $5 a day, you can sponsor a child through Compassion International. It's pocket change to you, life-changing for a child in need. Be part of the change. Become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio, compassion.com/radio. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes it's been a witch hunt since 2016.
To be a member of the mainstream media, news media today, should be a source of moral embarrassment. But it isn't, because, as I have said for decades, being on the left means never having to say you're sorry. The media and the left and its party, the Democratic Party, sustain hysteria they have from the moment of the election.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Pursue your passion with a degree from Aurora University Online. Choose fully online programs in business, computer science, and more. To learn more, visit online.aurora.edu.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Supporting veterans is our passion. That's why we support Veteran Roasters, a Chicago coffee roaster that hires homeless and chronically unemployed veterans. If you'd like to help create jobs for homeless veterans, visit veteranroasters.com and purchase a 12-ounce bag of coffee roasted and ground by once homeless and unemployed veterans. The coffee's delicious, and the profits are reinvested in hiring additional homeless veterans. Use promo code Team Hochberg to save 50% off the second bag you purchase. If you're a veteran securing a VA loan and would like to work with a local lender who supports veterans, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early-stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
6:37. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens inbound is heavy Peterson to Montrose. It's 21 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 19. Kennedy, 30 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 14 from Montrose, 11 in the Express. Outbound 11 minutes to Montrose, 43 to the airport. Eisenhower, 43 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 33. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 37. Ryan is 27 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop Ford 20, 8094 to the Verge. Northbound Tri-State, brake lights go on between the Stevenson and the Hinsdale Oasis, then from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. Other tollways still okay. Traffic service of K-Heat Distributors. It's an exciting time. Join the K-Heat team as a CDL driver. K-Heat offers great benefits, your safety first, and highly competitive wages. Call 800-800-2175. That's 1-800-800-2175. K-Heat. We hire to retire. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
We just checked the flight board this Monday morning. Leaving O'Hare and Midway, headed to parts around the country. Not a lot of delays at airports around the country this morning. That's better news. 76 at O'Hare. Partly sunny in your forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. There's a chance of a thunderstorm. And a high of 86 with hot and humid conditions. Humidity breaks overnight, low 65. Much more pleasant day tomorrow with a high of 80. 76 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella. Sunday mornings starting at 8.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we got some pregame audio from President Trump in advance of his closed-door sit-down with Russian autocrat Vlad Putin today in Helsinki. My understanding is he opened with, in America, we watch TV. In Soviet Russia, TV watch you, and other Yakov Smirnoff isms. He also had this to say.
We have discussions on everything from trade to military to missiles to nuclear to China. We'll be talking a little bit about China. Our mutual friend, President Xi.
Sure. It's like the three amigos, Xi, Putin, and Trump.
I think we have great opportunities together as two countries that, frankly, we have not been getting along very well for the last number of years. I've been here not too long, but it's getting close to 2 years. But I think we will end up having an extraordinary relationship. I hope so. I've been saying, and I'm sure you've heard over the years, and as I campaigned, that getting along with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing.
And he has been saying that. He also, in advance of the summit today, communicated multiple venues that his expectations were low. He had no expectations going in, that there was a hope that there could be constructive dialogue, but there was no expectation that there would be.
And with that, the world awaits, and I look forward to our personal discussion, which I think begins now, and then we're going to meet our whole team. You have quite a few representatives on that, and we all have a lot of questions, and hopefully we'll come up with answers, most importantly. It's great to be with you.
All right, and against the summit meeting, the backdrop is Mueller's indictments of 12 Russian intelligence operatives on Friday. I think it was Saturday. I saw a tweet from Andy McCarthy at National Review. It was my favorite one. He said, Mueller could indict another 144 million Russians and really pad the stats, but that's not getting us anywhere particularly important. And so, given these indictments following the Peter Strzok testimony before the House Judiciary Committee last week, Where does all of this stand, if anywhere new, than over the last year or so? For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid Andy McCarthy, former Chief Assistant U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, contributing editor at National Review, and along with Kim Strassel and Byron York, like the must-read individuals on all things Russian collusion related. Andy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So the indictments of those 12 operatives on Friday, how should we ascribe importance, if any, to that?
I think it shows that the special counsel investigation has been completely unnecessary from the start. There's nothing in this indictment, first of all, that we didn't know before the 2016 election. I mean, there's a detail here and there. But the thing that people need to understand is when the Justice Department, under the guise of filing an indictment, files a document that names a bunch of people and presents a narrative that everybody who is involved in the exercise knows will never be tested in court. There's not a single one of these Russian government officials that is ever going to see the inside of a federal courtroom. That this is simply a political exercise, and they're putting out something that's more of a public relations statement than an indictment. And the farcical aspect of this, Dan, is the Deputy Attorney General's comment on Friday. This is Rod Rosenstein in connection with the filing of this indictment, where he takes pains to remind everyone that in our justice, I want to quote him because this is too precious not to quote. In our justice system, everyone who is charged with a crime is presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So
yes,
we now have a situation where for 2 years we've been told that Russia basically committed an act of war against our democracy, this cyber espionage operation. And up until now, we've had intelligence reports and congressional reports which have outlined what they did and how they did it. But now we have an indictment, and the government's formal position is we have to presume that they didn't do what we've accused them of. Great.
Yeah. Well, let me just interrupt on Rosenstein specifically, Pollyanna there. There was some rumblings that there was going to be a move by House Republicans to impeach him, but Trey Gowdy poured cold water on that over the weekend. What's your thought on that?
I just think it's really dumb. I mean, I'm all for holding people in contempt at this stage if they are not producing the documents that Congress is entitled to and presenting the witnesses that Congress is entitled to. And I said that over the weekend. I think that the congressional investigations ought to shut down if they are not going to hold people in contempt, because they're just inviting people to do the kind of stunt that Strzok pulled the last couple of weeks, where he basically tells his side of the story, answers the question he and the FBI decides they want to answer, and refuses to answer the hard questions or talk about any other side of the story. If they can show that Rosenstein is behind that, then take action against Rosenstein, sure, by all means. But from what I understand, and this is based not only on Rosenstein's testimony, but statements by Chairman Nunes of the Intelligence Committee, Rosenstein has been pretty helpful to the Intelligence Committee in the last few weeks, at least, in terms of getting them the answers that they've been looking for. And I think if that process is actually starting to work, then they ought to let it work. You'll remember that Nunes gave them a 5 o'clock deadline about 10 days ago, and then it came and went without any peep, right? We didn't hear another word about it. And the reason it came and went without a peep is apparently Rosenstein arranged a session where Nunes and Rosenstein together, this was apparently a first briefing for Rosenstein as well, got a full briefing from the FBI that had to do, as I understand it, with the origins of the investigation, which is the investigation, that is, of the Trump-Russia thing.
All right, so there's there's no claim in the indictment.
So I just think that the time. I'm sorry, Amy. I don't mean to cut you off. I just mean the timing of it just is peculiar to me. If it's starting to work, I don't think he's the guy you want to start talking about impeachment over.
Yeah, and the timing too, because President Trump is meeting Putin right now, so it's just a few days before that. But there's no claim in the indictment that the hacking affected our elections, and these charges don't accuse anyone in the U.S. of knowingly helping the Russian hackers. So how is WikiLeaks involved and Roger Stone involved?
Well, WikiLeaks is involved the way that we always knew it was involved, which is they hack the stuff, or they do these spear phishing operations that help them hack the stuff, and then they have thousands of emails, and they need a way to get them out. So one of the ways they got them out publicly was to get them to WikiLeaks, which then puts them out. And again, I mean, we've known that for 2 years, right? Yeah. As far as Roger Stone is concerned, there's an allusion to somebody who certainly seems to fit the bill of Roger Stone in the indictment, but it looks like they dealt with him. They were talking about some information that they had already put out and the significance of it after a couple of emails or a couple of exchanges. I don't remember if it was email or text with this person who was presumably Stone. He finally answers and doesn't say anything of particular importance. And I think the significance of the whole thing is that they're communicating with Stone through the false persona, I think, of Guccifer 2.0, meaning that the Russians were using the false identity to communicate with people in the United States, whether it was Stone or anyone else, which suggests that there was never any collusive relationship between anybody in the United States and Russia, that they were trying to deceive people. So I think taking it as a whole, it seems to me that it precludes the possibility of there ever having been an espionage conspiracy between Russia and the Trump campaign. If the Russians are trying to deal with you through a false front that they misrepresent as somebody else, they're obviously not in collusion with you in an espionage conspiracy. Now, if people in the United States exploited the persona that they thought was Guccifer 2 that turns out to be the Russians, it's possible that they could have committed other crimes or done other bad things. There's nothing in here that would suggest that any of these people actually committed a crime. Any of these American people on the American side who dealt with these false personas or dealt with WikiLeaks.
Well,
but I don't see how you get to a espionage conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia. What this indictment seems to suggest strongly is that there wasn't and couldn't have been such an arrangement.
Well, it's interesting. After Peter Strzok's testimony last week, Peter Strzok, Trump referred to as a disgrace to the nation and the FBI over the weekend. Difficult to disagree, particularly after his public performance. But it seems like other outlets and Beltway thinkers are adopting a argument you have been making, Andy McCarthy, for many months now, which is Trump needs to declassify documents to move this thing along. Wall Street Journal opining over the weekend, declassify the FISA applications, declassify the procedural documents, declassify the 302s, the FBI agent notes from interviewing a source or a subject, the 1023s, FBI debriefings with informants or sources. Let's see them. Let's get to some sort of conclusion here.
Yeah, well, Dan, as you know, I've been saying this from the start because I've never seen that there's any evidence of a espionage conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia. And that is the fig leaf that they have used, the possibility that could have happened and that Mueller needs to be able to probe that. That's been their rationale for not disclosing this information. And it just seems to me, number one, the longer we get into this, the less and less likely, I would say it's impossible, that there was that kind of a scheme. But secondly, and I know this as a prosecutor who worked in national security cases, there are some times, particularly in the national security realm, where there are more important things than the prosecutor's investigation. And one of them is knowing whether our president was in cahoots with the Russians or not. So it seems to me that the most important thing is put out all this information so we can know exactly what happened here. If the president did something that he shouldn't have done, we need to know that.
Right.
And if, on the other hand, if the FBI used pretexts that they're not, every now and then the Bronx in me comes out, right?
It's okay.
If the FBI used pretexts that they're not supposed to use in order to ramp up or conduct an investigation of a political campaign during the height of the election season, that's something we need to know too.
Yeah, and you need to put a bug in Rudy G's ear and let's get this thing moving. He's Andy.
Rudy's got a lot of bugs going right now.
Yeah, well, yes, clearly. Andy McCarthy, former chief assistant U.S. attorney in Manhattan, contributing editor of National Review. His recent piece, nationalreview.com, Struck by a Farce. You want to check that out. Andy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Have a great week.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Fed expects to raise interest rates gradually over the next 2 years. Alaska passes a right-to-try law, and social media giants are facing off with Congress tomorrow. Those stories next.
Pat Boone here again, and I assure you, I have never before endorsed a pain relief product. Not until now. Not until Relief Factor came along as a 100% drug-free solution for people struggling with ordinary pain. Quite simply, Relief Factor was designed by doctors to help relieve those occasional aches and pains due to aging, exercise, and everyday living. Let me ask you, are aches and pains keeping you from sleeping through the night? Or keeping you from taking those nice long walks or playing golf or tennis? You can't really call it living if you can't get around comfortably. The 3-week quick start from Relief Factor may be all you need to lower or even eliminate these pains. A whole lot of people have already gone to ReliefFactor.com, and here's something you need to know. The majority of people who order the 3-week quick start, now only $19.95, go on to order more. Let's see if we can get you out of pain too. Go to ReliefFactor.com.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell will testify for 2 days this week on Capitol Hill, telling Congress all about the country's monetary status. Powell expected to tell lawmakers low unemployment and rising inflation will keep the U.S. economy on track to raise interest rates gradually through 2019. Tomorrow, the House Judiciary Committee takes testimony from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter on whether those companies are screening content for political bias. Alaska's become the 41st state to adopt a right-to-try law, allowing terminally ill patients to try new treatments that haven't yet been approved by the FDA. Right-to-try law is already in place in states like Texas, California, Mississippi, Arizona. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
How much do you spend on your pest control each year? $200, $300, or even $500 or more? What if I said you could spend less than $25 a year, even less with promo code RADIO20? Then listen up. G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free, and yes, it is possible to rid your home or business of unwanted pests for less than $25 per year. The answer is Plug-in Pest Free. Our best seller, the Plug-in Pest Free Pro, will cover up to 4,000 square feet. Now that's fair income. For just a one-time cost of only $249, even less with promo code RADIO20, you'll be pest-free for years to come. Log on to gopestfree.com today. Use promo code RADIO20 and start driving those pests away. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. Gopestfree.com. That's gopestfree.com, promo code RADIO20.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle, and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com. And use discount code CHICAGO.
When I was an FBI agent, I was aware of home title fraud. There was little we could do to stop it. Now there's Home Title Lock.
This online bank was foreclosing on us. They even had documents that I signed for a home equity loan, only I didn't. What a nightmare. I didn't have Home Title Lock then, but you bet I have it now.
Your home's title is online where international thieves can find it. They'll forge your title, take out loans using your equity, or sell your home outright. Identity theft programs and insurance don't protect you. For just pennies a day, Home Title Lock protects my most valuable asset, my home.
As a police officer, I've seen what home title fraud does to victims. So I registered for Home Title Lock, and when I did, I discovered some thief had already taken me off my home's title. Thank God I found out in time.
Register now for a free analysis and discover if your home's title has been compromised. That's a $60 value free. Visit HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Honey.
What?
I can't sleep.
Oh.
Would you mind if I put on some white noise?
Yeah, sure, babe. Yeah.
So much better.
It's hard to be without your bike, so do something easy and protect it with Progressive Motorcycle Insurance. And when you ride with us for 4 straight years without an accident, we won't count your first one against you, no matter how much it costs. Visit Progressive.com to quote today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Accident forgiveness not available in all states.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
This is a Fox News alert. Presidents Trump and Putin are together alone, joined only by their translators. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Discussions on everything from trade to military to missiles to nuclear to China. We'll be talking a little bit about China.
That was right before they went into their meeting in Finland. Fox's Simon Owens live in Helsinki.
Dave, President Trump kicking off his talks with Vladimir Putin by saying, I really think the world wants to see us get along.
I've been here not too long, but it's getting close to 2 years, but I think we will end up having an extraordinary relationship.
President Putin saying he's pleased the meeting is taking place and that the leaders have a lot to discuss. Hours before the talks began, President Trump taking to Twitter and blaming the United States for the current rocky relations with Russia, saying there'd be many years of U.S. foolishness and stupidity. Dave?
Simon, the president also in that tweet again called the special counsel Russia investigation a rigged witch hunt. Democratic Senator Mark Warner tells NBC.
The first and top point of this agenda should be no further Russian interference in our elections.
Other Democrats had urged President Trump to cancel this summit over the indictment last week of 12 Russian intelligence officials for the 2016 campaign meddling. In Chicago, a weekend of protests over the police shooting death of a black man some claim was unarmed. But Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson released body cam footage showing Harith Augustus did have a gun hidden in his waistband.
Let the process play out and don't judge things on your emotion. Let the facts guide your decision on what you think.
Augustus was shot Saturday as he ran from officers and appeared to reach toward his waist. A wildfire still burns near Yosemite Park in California, closing a key route into that park. That fire, one of dozens burning in the West, killed a firefighter and a bulldozer Saturday, and they still haven't been able to retrieve the body. This is Fox News, fair and balanced.
Hot and humid, 76 already at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. An investigation is underway following two deadly shootings in Gary, Indiana. Heather Talley was found shot to death yesterday. Several hours later, two men were discovered with gunshot wounds inside of a vehicle near 9th Place and Harrison, both pronounced dead at the scene. Chicago police are searching for the driver involved in a deadly hit-and-run crash. It happened in the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood. The man crossing the street late last night, struck by a white SUV in the 5200 block of West Fullerton, and the driver did not stop after the incident. A woman is dead, struck by a CTA train at a Green Line station on Chicago's west side. Police say the incident happened late last night near the Cicero stop. Chicago police letting the public see body cam video of a deadly officer-involved shooting over the weekend. The department releasing footage yesterday of an officer firing at Harith Augustus during a confrontation near 71st and Jeffrey. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says a man who officer shot was, in fact, armed.
This was not an unarmed individual. The individual was armed. Now, why he chose to do what he did, I don't know. But part of that is to calm people's fears. And I just urge people, we will be as transparent as we can.
The video appears to show Augustus breaking away from officers and reaching toward a gun on his hip. It will soon be easier for a judge in Illinois to take someone's gun away. Governor Rauner due in Chicago later this morning. He'll sign into law new legislation that allows a family member or local law enforcement agency to ask a judge to issue an emergency order of protection to seize someone's guns. Cubs knock off the Padres ahead of the All-Star break, 7-4 in San Diego. Lucas Giolito allowed 2 hits over 6+ scoreless innings of work. The White Sox rout the Royals 10-1 in Chicago. Bulls signed Jabari Parker to a 2-year deal. There's a new champion and new course record for the Quad Cities PGA event. The John Deere. Michael Kim is your winner at 27 under par. The Exmoor Country Club Vijay Singh held off Jeff Maggart in a sudden death playoff in the Senior PGA. And Senior Women's Open winner at the Chicago Golf Club over the weekend, Laura Davies, by 10 shots. The news service of Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty when you become a Compassion sponsor. Choose your child now at compassion.com/radio and do your part to release a child from poverty today. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity, The Sean Hannity Show.
You effectively have just opened the borders, wide open borders. It doesn't solve the problem. And Congress doesn't want to do their job. Because if they really did, they could literally get it done in a day. If they really meant the things that they were saying, they would get it done for the sake of the children that they seem to care so much about.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles. Now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on the 2018 EcoSport. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 60 months at $1,667 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 7/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
The secret to how the rich keep getting richer is by passing down their wealth, generation to generation. If you do the same thing, you'll be leaving a legacy and be doing one of the most important things possible for the people you love. The ugly truth is, you don't have an estate plan. Everything you own, including your house, cars, investments, everything could be tied up in courts for a year or longer. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, even double government taxation. You can avoid this painful, costly mistake by contacting Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group. Tom hosts the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturday mornings at 9 on AM 560, and has been a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. Right now, Alpha Wealth Group is offering you a free estate planning kit if you call 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
7:07. Check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway has stop-and-go traffic from before Butterfield to Roosevelt. There's a new lane configuration there through the construction. An express lane on the left, 2 locals on the right. Southbound traffic moves well. Tri-State northbound jam from the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence, but Adams Tollway tight lead to the Tri-State. Edens is 22 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy inbound delays start at Cumberland, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 28 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound 14 minutes to Montrose, but 54 to the airport. Eisenhower, 48 minutes, 390 to downtown, 33 from Manheim, outbound 40 to 390. Stevenson an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. Ryan is 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, the light. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Humid today with clouds and sun along with a shower. Thunderstorm high 86. Mainly clear night low 65. Mostly sunny and less humid tomorrow with a high 80 and a clear night tomorrow night low 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
78 at O'Hare, 79 along the lakefront. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, we have 2 racially potent events over the weekend to discuss, one significantly more serious than the other. The police-involved shooting where a 37-year-old man, Harith Augustus, was shot and killed in the South Shore neighborhood, or a CVS woman, a black woman who was a patron at CVS, who had the police called on her for using what was believed to be a fake coupon.
A fake coupon, yeah.
So which you CVS or CPD? Which one?
Let's do CVS first and
All
then
right.
CPD.
All right, CVS. This is the story of one patron of CVS named Camilla Hudson and one store manager named Maury Matson. And, I mean, it's about as straightforward as said. She tries to use a coupon to purchase something at CVS. Maury Matson, the store manager, thinks it's a fake, like she made it up herself. And so he calls the cops, and this is how it starts, the interplay between her and him, well, really her directed at him while he's on the phone with corporate and then police.
African American.
Black. No, I'm not African American. I'm black.
So now it's inappropriate to say African American? I mean, just
See,
before we get to the substance of the matter, it's difficult to keep track.
It has gone back and forth. When I worked in Detroit, you could not say black; you had to say African American. And then, if you were looking for a suspect, African American, light skin, dark skin. That's how. I mean, they sat us down and told us what we can do. But now people say black, where I'm not comfortable saying that. I'm still comfortable saying African American. But then again, I went to a hearing impaired high school.
This is
and
not
now you
helping.
can't say hearing impaired. You have to say deaf.
This is making it more confusing, not less.
Well, what do you say? I say African American.
I say black generally.
Oh, I see.
Because I don't believe in hyphenated Americans, or sort of in principle. I mean, black American,
I'm a
white
Swedish
American.
American.
Yeah, I don't believe in that nonsense.
Okay.
It's balkanizing, and we've already got enough things that divide us, don't you think? Oh, Camilla Hudson, she prefers to be called black, so I guess, there you go. Anyway, so she took to Facebook after the incident where 3 police officers showed up per the CVS call and had this to say.
Shortly thereafter, 3 Chicago Police Department tactical officers responded. But my feeling and my interaction with them is they were not there for me. They were there based on the phone calls they'd received from Maury, from whomever else.
Maury is Maury Matson, the store manager. Why would they be there for you? Did you call police? Of course they're not there for you. You didn't call police, so they're there because the store manager called corporate and then apparently called Chicago police, or corporate called Chicago police. Somebody called Chicago police on the CVS side of this spat, and that's why they showed up. By the way, Chicago police have better things to do than flesh out a allegedly illegal coupon or fake coupon, but they also have to respond to calls or they get tricked back that way.
And this happened in Rogers Park at 6150 North Broadway.
But that's not all. And boy, the Chicago Press Corps was sure to report this, because it can't just be an issue of a misunderstanding over a coupon and perhaps an overreaction by the store manager. There's something else afoot here, Amy. Maury Matson.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, I know.
He's running.
He's a Trump supporter. Right?
He is running for alderman in the 48th Ward.
A state delegate for President Trump.
He is president of the Log Cabin Republicans in Illinois.
Oh, which is a gay group, right?
Yes. And as you mentioned, he was a state delegate for Trump in the 2016 election. So is the gay Republican, because he is a Republican and a Trump supporter, does that color your interpretation of this incident to properly understand it as a hate crime?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he belongs to a group advocating for LGBTQ conservatives. Trump supporter, state delegate. So you think that's why this story has made national news? If he was just maybe a Chicago Democrat, like the majority of the people that are walking around.
I'm not sure.
Would it be a story?
I think the larger issue is, if he was a Chicago Democrat, would his partisan affiliation be included in the story? Mm-hmm. Or is this a way to insinuate that his political perspective informed his reaction to what he believed was a fake coupon? It's just interesting to note where philosophical or partisan affiliation is included by the press corps and where it isn't, where race is included by the press corps and where it isn't. This is the type of reporting that is incendiary from my perspective. There's no evidence. By the way, the guy, when he was on the phone, you can see in the video,
he was shaking.
Visibly shaking, probably because he knows this is a black woman. I'm a white guy. I'm a Republican, so this could be an incident.
But why did he have to call the police over that?
And see, well, it's not clear that he did, is it?
Wasn't he on the phone with police when his hands shaking? That's what I interpreted.
He called corporate first, CVS corporate, for what to do. Now, corporate, of course, is sort of throwing him under the bus, saying they're going to conduct an investigation. Oh, good. They've apologized to Camilla Hudson for her experience and, talked about their anti-discriminatory policy, blah, blah, blah.
But did they grant her the coupon? That's what I want to know. Yeah. It was a manufacturer's coupon, not a CVS coupon. And guys, don't bring that stuff into their store. They're sticklers about that.
She should have consulted my father, who is a coupon expert.
Oh, Oh, your dad's a coupon clipper?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Larry and I have so much more in common.
Inveterate
than I
coupon
thought.
clipper. Well, I mean, you're the same age group, so I mean, I think it's just that generation.
Yeah.
Very, very frugal
Yeah.
that way. So that's the story with CVS.
But then I have to ask the question, and you're going to hate this question. Would he have called the cops if she was a white woman? And the answer is
Well, I don't know what the answer is.
probably yes. I mean,
I don't know what the answer is. What?
it just doesn't rise to the level to call police. Just say your coupon's not good here. Next.
Well-
That's what you do. Like, next. What,
Well, I agree. I don't think this
she
is
was
a
carrying or something.
I agree. I don't think it's a police call. I don't necessarily agree that there's, just trying to find somebody else's perspective. There's no reason to believe that this was some kind of race-based. Perhaps he overreacted because there was this consternation. He's on the phone and she's sort of chiming in, and so maybe he thought it was going to escalate. So before it escalates, and again, from the reporting, it's not clear to me that he called police. She doesn't know that either. She's sort of she said I had the police called on me, and she says, you've heard that clip, like Maury or whoever, meaning the manager or whoever. And I wonder if she knows him too, to refer to him as Maury. This is a CVS she shops at,
Right.
so
I
some
know.
of the personnel.
Don't
or
you know your
whatever.
CVS guys?
No, I don't know anybody.
And gals?
I don't pay attention to anybody.
You don't talk to
Everybody's-
people.
I don't see gender. I don't see race. Everybody's faceless. They're like a Ken doll, but even without facial features.
Well, on the Sun-Times the Sun-Times caption is a CVS manager is accused of calling the police on a black woman because she had a coupon
Accused.
that he
Right.
claimed was fraudulent.
Yeah. So that's the
Trying to buy.
that's the coverage of it. I just like the fact that his political profile was included in the story. And again, are you going to include the political profile of everybody in every conflict that's reported upon, every crime that's committed? What's the style book, the new AP style book standards for reporting the sort of detail?
Well, the media thought it was salacious. Oh my gosh, he's a state delegate for President Trump. He's running for alderman.
Yeah, to me, it seems like it's a non-event, and it should have been handled sans police. But I know we can't handle anything without police. The manager can't handle somebody trying to pass a coupon that he needs to check out, and they get into a bit of an argument. That has to draw police. Some drunk, is saying untoward things to a woman about her T-shirt, and you actually have police there, and they can't handle it. Nobody can handle anything. All right. Well, in a more serious police matter, this is a police matter. This is the story over the weekend that led to some violent protests of Chicago police, as well as peaceful protests on Sunday. 37-year-old Harith Augustus, who was shot and killed in the South Shore neighborhood when police, walking a beat, looked like he had a gun under his T-shirt. They walked up to him, started talking to him, and then reached out for him. And he sort of spun away from the police. His shirt comes up. They see a weapon, and you can see it in the dash cam video that was released, or the body cam video that was released, excuse me. They see a holstered weapon, as well as at least one magazine is visible in the video. The police recovered a weapon and 2 magazines, as it turns out. He spins out in the street, and a cruiser pulls up as he's sort of resisting arrest and seeming to reach for his weapon on his belt, and then police open fire and kill him.
Yeah, he was shot several times, died later at Jackson Park Hospital. Known on the streets as Snoop. He's a well-known barber. People protesting. It got ugly. It wasn't a protest. It was a darn near riot. Jumping on top of cop cars, throwing rocks, bottles of urine at police officers. 4 police officers injured, 4 protesters arrested. And that's why Superintendent Eddie Johnson rushed to expedite the release of this body cam video.
These things happen in a split second, and officers have to make decisions quickly. They don't have the luxury of looking at video later. So I'm going to let COPA do their investigation because I don't want to adversely harm it.
That's the theme music they use when they conduct an investigation into a police-involved shooting.
Wow.
I couldn't help but
Too
think
soon. I know.
Copa.
When you see Copa, you think of Copa.
I mean, I just want to dance. Anyway, it's interesting to note that Eddie Johnson decided to release some of that body cam video under public pressure and in the interest of peacekeeping because part of the protesting was perhaps incited by misinformation about the shooting. There was information on the street that he was unarmed, and he clearly was not.
And he wasn't. They found a gun at the scene. They recovered those magazines, and everybody in the crowd. So the crowd went from, police are bad, stop killing the young black innocent men. They went from that to, he did have a gun. He had a concealed carry permit, and he did not have a concealed carry permit. We don't know about his arrest record, if he even has one. But people were very upset and took to the streets and had a riot.
And how many times do you got to say it has to stop? How many times do you got to let people know, that you don't want to continue to see young black men gunned down the street?
Yeah, agree. It has to stop. So just in terms of rank order priority here, the total number of people shot in the city of Chicago to date, as we sit here on July 16th, 1,521. 243 people have been shot and killed. Most of the victims, this is fact, most of the victims are young black men. Most of the perpetrators, those who have been caught, and very few of these cases are cleared, as we know, but most of those who have been caught and charged with crimes are young black men. Now compare that to the stats where police are involved in Chicago this year so far. 4 people have been killed, 9 people have been wounded in police-involved shooting. And I'm not saying that those were illegitimate police-involved shootings, just like I'm not saying this is an illegitimate police-involved shooting, as unfortunate as it is. It didn't have to go down this way. One way to prevent that is to not resist arrest,
right?
Or even to not resist police officers.
Yeah, they were trying to talk to him, and then they get closer to him, and he flinches, and that's when he did the rollout, and that's when his shirt lifted up, and you could see.
But just weapon. With respect to all of these racial demagogues and political hacks that the cameras from the Chicago Press Corps love to cover, this has to stop. The shutting down expressways and the marches and the midnight vigils. 1,500 people shot so far this year, 243 shot and killed. Police-involved shootings, 4 killed, 9 wounded. 1 police-involved shooting that's wrong is one too many. And police have a higher standard because they are ambassadors of the state, and the state has a monopoly of force. And generally, as you sort of indicated by the stats, they do exercise more restraint. But in terms of it has to stop violence conversation, do you want to have it about the denizens of the South and West Side neighborhoods in particular, the city in general, or do you want to have it about police? Where should the real emphasis be? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line. Jerry in Palatine.
Hey, it seems to me that carrying a concealed weapon is illegal in the city of Chicago.
Not if you have a permit.
Lawful police.
Not if you have a right to carry permit.
Okay, got me there. It disobeyed police orders, resisted arrest, went for the piece that he was carrying in his pants. He got what he should have got. Yeah, he should have, because he may have shot those police. Yeah, he may have shot them in the face.
Thanks for the call, Jerry.
I don't. It happened so fast, and so they released 2 versions of it. One,
right, it happened fast.
Right, that's the thing, and they slow-mode the second version down so that you can see the gun on him, just to reassure the public. No, he was carrying. There was a threat there.
Yeah,
but I wish they could have tasered him.
Well, I wish he wouldn't have resisted arrest and spun out into the street and gone for his weapon, because then he would be alive today. Nobody wants this guy dead, and it's needless. But the needlessness is on his side. This is not too much to ask. Use common sense. Understand that if you resist arrest, it is not going to end well.
Well, it has deadly consequences. And that's what I tell Peyton and Eli. I said, this is another example. Don't do this. If you get stopped by police, stop. Don't reach for anything. Don't grab anything. And be respectful.
If you're rousted by police, if you're unfairly treated, if you're unfairly charged, this is why we have a justice system. Don't try to settle it on the street with police. It is not going to end well. Why is this difficult? Mark on the South Side.
Hello. You know what, Amy? Taser, I'm sorry, but you know what? Guy puts his hand on his gun. Game over. I apologize for if that offends you, but the taser is a great tool. But gun it's you know what I mean. Let me say something though, guys. This is the reason why I called. We are trying to do so much into the community. I am a police officer. Eddie Johnson's a good man. There's a lot of good people in those areas. A lot of good people helping us. Black Lives Matter has undermined everything that we tried to do. They're a hate group. They hate us. I've been on rallies with them. What do we want? Dead cops. What do we want? Now. They put out all this nonsense on social media. They get all these people lined up, and who keeps legitimizing them? Our media. And the scary thing is, and I'll leave you with this so everybody knows it, they have a seat at the table now, thank you, Lisa Madigan, at our contract negotiations and the consent decree, a group that hates us.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, you guys have a great day, and thank you.
Thanks for the call, Mark. Appreciate it.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Got an email last night from a lady in Florida who doubted my sincerity about Relief Factor until she tried it. She tried Relief Factor. In her case, it took her almost 3 weeks, and she woke up pain-free. Relief Factor was the answer she's been looking for. This makes my 60 seconds to tell you about Relief Factor some of the happiest times of my day, because I know people are going to get the relief that they've been craving. You get all the pain relief benefits of Relief Factor without the negative side effects of ibuprofen or prescription drugs. Physicians created Relief Factor as a crucial way to support the body's fights against aches and pains. So no matter your age, maybe you're just too sore after a great workout at the gym, or if you're like me and you're of a certain age and you want to start dealing with the aches and pains of life, give Relief Factor a try. The 3-week quick start is $19.95. Try it for 3 weeks. It's $19.95. Decide if it's for you or not. ReliefFactor.com. ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-500-8384. 800-500-8384. Relief Factor.
Oh, it's back. The MyPillow buy one, get one free offer for July. And if you haven't bought your MyPillow yet, here's another chance to save big. Hey, even our 45th president mentioned he sleeps on a MyPillow. Mike Lindell, the MyPillow guy, was at a rally in Fargo last month, and the president recognized him and endorsed MyPillow on national TV. I love that you can move the fill to get the support you need, regardless if you sleep on your neck or on your side or on your stomach. If you do a headstand all night, God bless you. I'd love to hear about it. And if you do it on a MyPillow. You never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. And MyPillow is made in America, washable, dryable, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. So go online or call now for this great BOGO deal and others, including 30% off everything else, including MyPillow mattress toppers that I've been telling you about. I love the pet beds. Sheets are awesome. And there's much more. Just go to MyPillow.com, type in the promo code Amy at checkout for 30% off. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Looking for a fun summer vacation idea? Charlottesville in Albemarle County, Virginia is a short and easy trip with daily nonstop flights on 2 airlines from O'Hare. Tour the homes of former presidents Jefferson, Monroe, and Madison. Sip wine at one of the area's 30-plus wineries. Take a hike in Shenandoah National Park. Dine al fresco at one of the many farm-to-table restaurants, or stroll down one of the longest pedestrian malls in the country. Plan your trip today at visitcharlottesville.org.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
When the Senate was debating cutting taxes, Senator Joe Donnelly told us this.
If they bring a good tax bill before me that helps middle-class families, count me in every time.
But how did Senator Donnelly actually vote? Listen to President Trump.
Joe Donnelly voted no on tax cuts.
The Trump tax cuts are working for Indiana. Middle-class families will receive a tax cut of more than $2,000. Thanks to tax cuts, Hoosier businesses are hiring, raising wages, and paying employee bonuses. But Senator Donnelly voted no. It's time for Joe Donnelly to change course on tax cuts. Call Senator Joe Donnelly, 202-224-4814. Tell him the Trump tax cuts are working and to vote yes on S2687 to make our tax reforms permanent. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We talked to famed FBI profiler James Fitzgerald and try and assess the damage that Strzok and Page have done to the FBI at 7:37.
And they're meeting in private. President Trump, President Putin, together at last. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
78 degrees, hot and sticky this start to the work week. Talks between the president and Russian President Vladimir Putin are underway in Helsinki, Finland.
I think we have great opportunities together as two countries that, frankly, we have not been getting along very well for the last number of years. I've been here not too long, but it's getting close to 2 years. But I think we will end up having an extraordinary relationship.
President Trump has said he hopes to discuss Syria with the Russian leader, as well as issues involving nuclear non-proliferation. A suspect accused of shooting 3 Kansas City, Missouri police officers is dead following a standoff. Kansas City Police Chief Rick Smith says investigators have been searching for the suspect for several days.
We're trying to get up on this individual. We've been looking for him all week. This is the first time we had laid eyes on him.
The suspect was considered a person of interest in the shooting death of a University of Missouri, Kansas City student earlier in the month. There's growing concern a raging wildfire, 4,000-acre fire, could be a major threat to California's Yosemite National Park. As of Sunday, the blaze was only 2% contained. Here locally, an investigation is underway following 2 deadly shootings in Gary, Indiana. Heather Talley was found shot to death yesterday. Several hours later, 2 men were discovered with gunshot wounds inside of a vehicle near 9th Place and Harrison Street. Chicago police tell us they're looking for the driver involved in a deadly hit-and-run crash in the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood, and a woman is dead after being struck by a CTA train at a Green Line stop on Chicago's west side. Cubs knock off the Padres 7-4 in San Diego. White Sox rout the Royals 10-1. The news, a service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. You can help put an end to Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis by joining Team Challenge. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation's endurance training program. Walk, run, cycle, hike, or compete in a triathlon and get closer to the ultimate finish line. Cures. Visit ccteamchallenge.org to learn more. 7:34. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I am a Trump supporter.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Now, I am a Trump supporter who will freely criticize the president when I think he's done wrong. And done wrong can be sending out a stupid tweet, raising taxes, or supporting amnesty. Can be anything. It's the issues to me. And when President Trump does something that does not advance those issues, I'll call him out on it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. At Permaseal, we believe your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. I hear story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room or bedroom getting wet when it rains, and you should feel the same way about your basement. Just call 800-421-SEAL. We offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time. But if you want your basement dry all the time, you know who to call. 800-421-SEAL. Permaseal has earned an A-plus rating from the BBB and has received their 2016 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
7:37 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Metra is reporting delays on the Union Pacific West line. Signal problems near Geneva. The Edens Expressway is 21 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 29. Kennedy, 44 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 16 minutes to Montrose, but an hour and 6 minutes to O'Hare from downtown. 190 has delays in both directions. Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to the Circle, outbound 54. Stevenson, an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39 minutes. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95 to downtown. Tri-State southbound slow Washington to Bradley. And from the Adams Tollway to the O'Hare Oasis, northbound Archer to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. Traffic service of Geico Chicagoland. A Chicago Geico now has even more ways to help save you money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need for the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue or call 773-582-8888. Kevin, your local Geico agent. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Partly sunny, maybe a thunderstorm today. Hot and humid conditions, high of 86. Currently 78 at O'Hare. Your next news update coming up at 8. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Get your free tickets to meet Sean Spicer in Chicago on August 8th. Go to 560theanswer.com/briefing.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Trump is meeting with Putin now in Helsinki. And I just hope Melania is there because I don't want him to get programmed, President Trump to get programmed like Staff Sergeant Raymond Shaw in the Manchurian Candidate.
Oh, yeah, right.
Very concerned about that. President Trump, prior to leaving to jet off to Helsinki for the summit meeting with Putin, sat down with Face the Nation for an interview over the weekend in which he had this to say about the testimony of one Peter Strzok last week before the House Judiciary Committee.
He was a disgrace to our country. He was a disgrace to the FBI. So when I look at things like that, and he led that investigation, or whatever you call it, I would say that, yeah, I think it hurts our relationship with Russia. I actually think it hurts our relationship with a lot of countries. I think it's a disgrace what's going on. And then you look how, partisan it is. You look at what's going on where... and they know that there's no way he can get away from those horrible texts that he wrote. So the other side knows, but it's a very partisan thing.
Indeed it is. And Devin Nunes made a similar point on a different topic with Maria Bartiromo over the weekend. This in response to the indictments that were handed down by Mueller on Friday, 12 Russian intelligence officers, operatives who were allegedly the hackers. Nunes saying, well, the Mueller indictment essentially follows the report that my committee issued on Russian hacking, the efforts to meddle in the election, that was made public back at the end of April of this year, that was known by Team Mueller months before.
There's more in this report than what's in the indictment. Okay, and this is what's very frustrating. So it's great that they indicted Russians. Yes, they did bad things. I mean, they're always up to bad things. We know that. They have very sophisticated intelligence capabilities in Russia. And they're constantly attacking the United States and our allies. However, in the indictment, they leave out some really important people that they also went after. So the indictment plays like they're only going after the Democrats, when Bob Mueller and all his investigators and his lawyers know for a fact that they also targeted Republicans. Why is that not in the indictment? It makes the indictment look ridiculous. And then it looks like all the Mueller team did was validate our report, indict some Russians, and leave out, I think, some very pertinent relative of evidence that the American public should see, which is, why we continue to have to fight. This report has been mocked by the media, has been mocked by the Democrats, and still is mostly redacted by the Department of Justice and the intelligence agencies.
And didn't they even hack the Illinois GOP?
The FBI informed the Illinois Republican Party at the end of 2016 that some of their emails had been hacked. They didn't tell them as part of this Russian investigation at the time, and that this had happened some 6 months earlier. So yes, the way this is covered is like this is some revelation, or there is anybody who doesn't believe that Russians were involved in hacking and attempting to meddle and so on and so forth. The issue is the collusion aspect of it, which Mueller has advanced in no material way, it seems to me, by indicting 12 people who are never going to step foot on American soil. But for more on this, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend James Fitzgerald. He is the famed FBI special agent, now retired, and criminal profiler from the Unabomber case. He and his team were the ones who solved the Unabomber case. He's also the author of a series of books, A Journey to the Center of the Mind, that was in part turned into this great Netflix series, the Unabomber case, called Manhunt, where Sam Worthington plays Fitzgerald and Paul Bettany plays Ted Kaczynski. Really, really good series. Really interesting. A lot of, if you vaguely remember the case, but you don't remember the details and how it all played out, the series does that for you. It's pretty riveting. James Fitzgerald, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy, and everybody out in Chicago. Great to be back on again.
Thank you. And so why don't we start with Peter Strzok and his performance before the House Judiciary Committee last week, and give us your assessment of the damage that Strzok and Page, in particular, just those two, have done to the FBI now that everybody has seen Peter Strzok publicly.
Well, I'm a linguist, a forensic linguist, and words interest me. And I think we can maybe actually come up with a new word here, and it can be applied to similar situations, and that would be a Strzokism. And what essentially that is when something about a person is provably, demonstrably true, but he or she still lies about it anyway, despite all indications otherwise. So if we can every once in a while throw that in our interview here today,
adding that to my lexicon.
What a Strzokism that is.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of an 18th century literary character named Baron Munchausen. And this guy was known to have told all these fantastical lies throughout his career, and there were books and movies made about it, years later. But that's who I see in this Peter Strzok. And then I have to hit myself every once in a while. Oh, that's right. He's an FBI agent just like I used to be, and he's sitting in front of national TV, in front of the House Judiciary Committee, and providing testimony that is so blatantly false, so contradictory to what he actually put on paper or made digital with the text messages and emails from his government phone. We haven't even seen his private phone or other private email messages yet, so I can only imagine how much is in there that, where he's attempting to, further destroy our democracy, quite frankly, from his desk in his office on the 7th floor of the FBI headquarters back in 2016 and well into 17. So very unimpressive testimony on his part. And again, me, along with many other FBI agents, retired, still on the job. Very disappointed. He is now the face of the FBI.
But there was no contrition on his part. He tried to justify what he meant by saying, well, that day President Trump, besmirched a Gold Star Father Khan, and that's, why I, said that we will stop it. I mean, he made really no sense. And the fact that he still has security clearance is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's almost like reverse engineering. He just said these things. That's his default mentality. And then I'm sure all of a sudden when they get released, he goes back and checks the media, does some website searches. Oh, that's right. He came out and said this about Khan, which Trump, he wasn't denigrating Khan's service or anything like that. Just, pointing out some things that his father had said in the Democratic National Convention of all places. So that's what Strzok uses as an excuse. And in that particular Strzokism, there I used the word,
yes.
In that particular part of his testimony.
We'll do the best we can to popularize Strzokism. But let me ask you about Strzok's essential argument. He presented as exculpatory, and simpletons on the left have tried to pick this up, the fact that I had information about candidate Trump that I did not leak to the press or otherwise disclose proves that I had no bias in terms of the conduct of my investigation.
Yeah, note to Mr. Strzok, you shouldn't be releasing information like that to the media anyway. That is an ethical violation at a minimum, and possibly a criminal violation at the maximum. So what, you want a medal or another Purple Heart, as he was awarded by a Dem, for not doing something wrong, when at the meantime you knew you had other people around you that were releasing information about matters either related to that investigation or other issues about Trump. And again, he also felt from almost his own testimony, as well as Comey's and others, why bother even releasing some of this stuff? Because we're pretty sure Trump's going to win and Trump's going to lose and Hillary's going to win. So it's almost like we don't have to even worry about doing this stuff. This is like our little back pocket thing, just in case things really get hairy as we get closer, whatever. But the polls weren't indicating that, as wrong as they were, and they felt they could hold back on that. So for him to put some kind of a medal on his chest and try to prove his alleged objectivity and non-biased behavior, because he didn't do something questionably illegal, that doesn't hold water with me or many other FBI agents to whom I have been discussing this particular guy.
And he also mischaracterized the Horowitz report, suggesting there's no proof that I did anything that was demonstrably biased. And that's not really what the Horowitz report says. It says I can't prove it, but there are certainly indications of bias being present. Essentially was the argument that was made by Horowitz. I don't have a smoking gun, so you're going to have to interpret what he did that I'm documenting however you want, because I can't get inside his head. And Kim Strassel at the Wall Street Journal, I thought, asked the great question after his testimony on Thursday, which is, if you were the one being investigated and you knew the investigator had demonstrated so much animus towards you, would you feel like you were getting a fair shake? And nobody would feel that way. And I just wonder what you and FBI colleagues of yours think about all that Strzok said and texted and so forth. Is there any precedent for that at the FBI being so, antagonistic towards the subject of an investigation based on their political disposition and but then also saying, well, I set that aside to conduct my professional duties. Is that credible?
Yeah, he makes it sound so simple in doing so, setting this part aside like he has a wall of some sort down the middle of his brain where, all right, this is my investigative side as an FBI agent, and this is my political side, and the twain shall never meet. And we know that just doesn't work. The brain doesn't work that way. And look, I've worked cases over the years. I worked mostly criminal cases in my life, even as a profiler, although after 9/11, we got more and more involved in assessing terrorists and terrorism, how to approach a certain guy, an interview strategy. And the rules are different. It's not so much about probable cause or actually gaining evidence to put together your case. And going back to the Inspector General's report, while there is no evidence or testimonial evidence of this doing that, all that means is they couldn't present that in court in front of a jury and have that as direct evidence in a particular case. It could arguably be circumstantial evidence, but in the counterintelligence world, you don't need any of that stuff, because rarely do these agents work to build cases to make arrests. It's all about identifying somebody, maybe putting him under arrest, and then making a trade somewhere down the line for somebody on your side who got caught overseas. So their rules are completely different, and the stuff they were doing in the Trump investigation, to me, seems like these rules were very loosey-goosey. And I like to actually quote Michael Goodwin from the New York Post, who thought, Comey, McCabe, no doubt Strzok, as well as Lisa Page, thought they were a fourth branch of government that is beyond accountability from the other three. And again, with no probable cause needed, no reasonable doubt had to be worried about in front of a jury somewhere, they could just do what they want and get away with what they want in any attempt that they could to diffuse the potential campaign of Donald Trump, and at the same time, it seems, quite frankly, to hide certain things or diminish certain factors about the Hillary campaign. So all these factors came together. They could not hide their bias. They were stupid enough, and I said this in our last interview, I'm embarrassed that they were just stupid enough to put these things out in the cyber world, knowing that somewhere, someday they would come about. But again, they never thought it would, because Hillary would win, but their whole world collapsed, and they're now walking in the world of Strzokisms to, in fact, survive what they know they've done wrong in 2016 and some into 17.
Well, I mean, and the most concerning part about this is a guy who was there for 26 years.
I don't remember running into Peter Strzok. I may have provided some training to him. He came on in 96. I was there about 10 years at the time. We probably crossed paths somewhere. I certainly did with Mueller, working the anthrax case, and it wasn't going very good under him. It's funny when me and a few other profilers suggested let's move this on in a different direction, that it was finally solved. But it is sad. I'm not sure what his upbringing was like. I'm not sure what his early bureau career was like, who was his training officer. But I'll tell you, somehow, Jupiter aligned with Mars and a few other planets when these people all wound up, at the 7th floor of FBI headquarters together. They were plucked into a political campaign unlike no other that we've ever seen. And lo and behold, they decided to run with it as they did and try their best to bring it downward and defeat democracy. But in the long run, these people were caught, identified, and let's just hope and pray something like this never happens again. The FBI is too good, with too many good people in it, for these four, and there's more, half a dozen around them, to have done what they've done. They're wrong. They got caught, and we got to get rid of them one way or the other.
He is James Fitzgerald, retired FBI agent and a celebrated criminal profiler from the Unabomber case in particular, which has been optioned into a Netflix series called Manhunt that you want to check out. Also the author of a series of books, A Journey to the Center of the Mind. James Fitzgerald, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, folks. See you next time.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
My husband's blood pressure has dropped 30 points. I've lost 8 pounds. He's lost about 20 pounds. His arthritis is gone. You guys have given me back my husband. I'd come home from work, and if he beat me home from work, he would be laying in the recliner, and I would feed him supper. in his recliner and would be like really boring, pathetic old people watching TV while we ate dinner and then go to bed exhausted and wake up tired. I came home from work last night and he was mowing the lawn. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you feel like you could get more use out of your smartphone and tablet, don't feel alone. It's hard to keep up with ever-changing technology. Now there's an easy way for anyone to master the latest smartphone and tablet. User manuals and how-to guides made for beginners from beginnermanuals.com. Guidebooks that are made for the beginner and approved and recommended by over 100 senior associations in the United States. They teach all the basics with high-quality illustrations and step-by-step instructions for all the fundamental and important tasks on your smartphone or tablet. These easy-to-understand guides are just 100 pages long. In just one sitting, you'll be able to use your device completely, confidently, and easily. BeginnerManuals.com has manuals for both Apple and Android devices, including the iPhone, iPad, and Galaxy. Go to BeginnerManuals.com and for a limited time, get 20% off and free shipping. That's BeginnerManuals.com for 20% off and free shipping.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, President Trump's first press secretary, Sean Spicer. Spicy has a new book coming out. It's called The Briefing. And in the book, he reveals what really happened behind the scenes during some of the most headline-grabbing moments of the campaign and that turbulent first year of Trump's administration. And Sean Spicer is coming to Chicago for an event that AM 560 is hosting. It's happening on Wednesday, August 8th at the Museum of Broadcast Communications on State Street. It's being presented by healthinsurancementors.com. And the cost of the event, well, it is absolutely free. So meet Sean Spicer. Hear him talk about his experiences with the Trump campaign and Trump administration, and pick up a signed copy of his new book. Tickets are limited, and you must register to get yours. But again, the event is free, but you have to go to 560theanswer.com/briefing. That's 560theanswer.com/briefing. And right now, you can call and win a pair of tickets to join us on August 8th with Sean Spicer. Just be caller number what?
4.
Caller number 4 to 312-733-6993. That's 312-733-6993. Caller number 4. Get yourself a free pair of tickets. And you can also have access to the Saturday Night Live exhibit at the Museum of Broadcast Communications. We will see you August 8th. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
What's been overheard in Helsinki and why nudists love Twitter.
And later, she just wants an apology. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
CPD releases body cam footage of a deadly police shooting. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Presidents Trump and Vladimir Putin meeting by themselves, joined only by their interpreters. I'm Dave Anthony.
Getting along with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing.
That was right before the two leaders went behind closed doors. They'll meet also a second time, joined by top staffers in Helsinki, Finland, where Fox's Simon Owen is live.
Dave, the presidents looking stern as they sat down for talks here. President Trump sitting forward in his chair, President Putin slouching backwards in his. President Trump told reporters there's much to discuss.
We all have a lot of questions, and hopefully we'll come up with answers.
Before the talks, the president tweeting that relations with Russia are poor because of years of US stupidity. The Russian Foreign Ministry responding with a tweet of its own, saying, "We agree." Dave?
Simon, the president also in that tweet again called the special counsel's Russia probe a witch hunt. Democratic Senator Mark Warner tells NBC.
I think it's abysmal, but this administration has not made 2018 election security a higher priority.
And Democrats had urged the president to cancel this Putin summit after 12 Russian intelligence officials were indicted for 2016 campaign meddling. The U.S. may have a new strategy in Afghanistan, where the UN reports the number of civilian deaths hit a record the first half of this year, nearly 1,700 people because of ISIS and the Taliban. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Direct talks between the U.S. and the Taliban could be happening soon. That's according to a report in the New York Times, which says the Trump administration has told its top diplomats to seek the talks in an effort to end the 17-year war. No date for any talks has been set, and the State Department and Taliban have not commented on the report. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo briefly visited the Afghan capital of Kabul last week in an effort to lay the groundwork for direct U.S. Taliban talks, which apparently would not include representatives of the Afghan government. Dave?
And John, news just out on the economy. Retail sales rose 0.5% last month. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Hazy and humid, 78 degrees at 8:02 AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. An investigation underway following 2 deadly shootings in Gary, Indiana. Heather Talley was found shot to death early yesterday, and several hours later, on Sunday, 2 men were discovered with gunshot wounds inside of a vehicle near 9th Place and Harrison. Chicago police are looking for the driver involved in a deadly hit-and-run crash. It happened last night in the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood. A woman is dead, struck by a CTA train at a Green Line station on Chicago's west side. Police tell us the incident happened last night near the Cicero Green Line stop. Chicago police letting the public see body cam video of a deadly officer-involved shooting over the weekend that prompted protest in the South Shore neighborhood. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson.
This was not an unarmed individual. The individual was armed. Now, why he chose to do what he did, I don't know. But part of that is to calm people's fears. And I just urge people, we will be as transparent as we can.
The video shows Harith Augustus breaking away from police officers and reaching toward a gun on his hip. Bail set at $3 million for a West Chicago man accused of selling heroin to undercover police officers. The man appeared in DuPage County Court over the weekend on felony drug charges. Authorities say officers bought 3 kilograms of heroin from the suspect. Cubs knock off the Padres 7-4 in San Diego just ahead of the All-Star break, while the White Sox rout the Royals 10-1. It's 8:03. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network. Here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Bank of America is reporting a stronger than expected spring quarter. The Charlotte-based bank was helped by the recent corporate tax cut. It was also helped by higher interest rates. Amazon launches its big summer sale Prime Day at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today. The sale continues through Tuesday, but MarketWatch says you don't need to buy from Amazon to find deals. Bed Bath & Beyond, JCPenney, Lowe's, and Joann stores say they will match Amazon's prices in most cases. Target, Walmart, and Best Buy are among those holding their own sales. Airbus and Boeing have announced more than $10 billion in combined deals today at an air show in England. Despite the deals, there's speculation the aviation boom may be peaking, partly because of higher oil prices. The Dow was up 94 on Friday. NASDAQ gained 2, S&P up 3. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It's 8:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on a great lineup of Ford SUVs. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Not available on Expedition. For all offers, take new retail delivery from authorized Ford dealer stock by 7/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
My Pacifica Hybrid, America's first and only hybrid minivan, is so quiet I can finally hear myself think. I should totally adopt a puppy. Ugh, what are you talking about? I have too many nice shoes. I also have a 566-mile driving range. Chrysler really gave 110% making this bad boy. Oops, green light.
Introducing the 84 MPGe Pacifica Hybrid. Chrysler Pacifica. Up your van game. Based on latest available competitive information. Range based on manufacturer estimates. EPA estimate with a fully charged battery and estimated miles per gallon of gasoline equivalent MPGe. Actual mileage may vary. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
For many folks, Obamacare isn't working. Carriers are dropping coverage, copays are skyrocketing, and penalties for not enrolling are growing. Add to that the hassle of dealing with claims issues and out-of-network roadblocks, and it's easy to see why so many Americans are turning to a different option called health sharing. Full healthcare plans that are saving families thousands a year and without the hassle. But with so many health sharing plans available, how do you find the right one? Easy. At Health Markets. Their free service does all the work searching nationwide health share providers for the plan that's right for your needs and budget. With health sharing, there's no enrollment deadlines, high premiums, or soaring out-of-pocket costs. And they're exempt from the sky-high penalties of the Affordable Care Act. Want a plan with the doctors you love and get coverage for dental and vision? Health Markets can help. Health Markets has helped people enroll in over 3 million plans, and they can help you. Their service is free, so call to learn about all the benefits and savings of health sharing. Call 800-292-7796. That's 800-292-7796. 800-292-7796.
It's 8:07. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonti.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's south side, CTA Red Line service is shut down right now between Garfield and 35th due to a power outage. Shuttle buses are available. Allow extra time. Eden's 20 minutes like Cook to Montrose outbound 33. Kennedy inbound jammed Montrose to Division with a crash in the right lane. School bus involved. 50 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 37 from Montrose, 35 on the Express. Outbound 46 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower runs 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 51. Stevenson an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 39 minutes. Ryan is 36 minutes, 95 to downtown. 390 has delays eastbound Beecham to 290, part because 53 is bottled up. Southbound Palatine to Kirchhoff, and also from Higgins all the way down to 355. And northbound at Stop and Go Higgins, the Adams Tollway, and Kirchhoff Palatine Road. Traffic, serviceofunbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education, drop out, help their family put food on the table. See how far your support can go at unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a shower or thunderstorm. Warm and humid with air quality unhealthy for sensitive groups. High today 86, less humid later tonight, otherwise mainly clear, low 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
80 at O'Hare, 82 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and this is a really interesting confessional by a former and reformed shame mobster. Really interesting, and the fact that this individual who's coming clean about his time as a social justice warrior spewing invective on social media, and this person is using a pseudonym, says everything you need to know about the tolerant left. I drive a food delivery for an online app to make rent and support myself and my young family. This is my new life. I once had a well-paid job in what might be described as the social justice industry. Then I upset the wrong person, and within a short window of time, I was considered too toxic for my employer's taste. I was publicly shamed, mobbed, and reduced to a symbol of male privilege. I was cast out of my career and my professional community. So now he writes anonymously about how he has been chastened by experience. In my previous life, I was a self-righteous social justice crusader. I would use my mid-sized Twitter and Facebook platforms to signal my wokeness on topics such as LGBT rights, rape culture, and racial injustice. Many of the opinions I held then are still the opinions that I hold today, but I now realize that my social media hyperactivity was, in reality, doing more harm than good. Within the world created by the various apps I used, I got plenty of shares and retweets, but this masked how ineffective I had become outside, in the real world. It happened because it was exhilarating. Every time I would call someone a racist or sexist, I would get a rush. That rush would then be reaffirmed and sustained by the stars and hearts and thumbs up that constitute the nickels and dimes of social media validation. Then one day, suddenly, I was accused of some of the very transgressions I had called out in others. I was guilty, of course. There's no such thing as due process in this world. And once judgment has been rendered against you, the mob starts combing through your past, looking for similar transgressions that may have been missed at the time. I was now told that I had been creating a toxic environment for years at my workplace, and that I had been making the space around me unsafe through microaggressions and macroaggressions alike. You see, social justice is a surveillance culture, a snitch culture. The constant vigilance on the part of my colleagues and friends did me in. That's why I'm delivering sushi and pizza, which, by the way, is a terrible combination.
Oh.
I'm
sushi on pizza, even worse.
Well, yes. I mobbed and shamed people for incidents that became front-page news, but when they were vindicated or exonerated by some real-world investigation, it was treated as a footnote by my online community. If someone survives a social justice call-out, it simply means that the mob has moved on to someone new. Aggressive online virtue signaling is fundamentally a two-dimensional act. It has no human depth. It's only when we snap out of it, see the world as it really is, and the people as they really are, that we appreciate the destruction and human suffering we caused when we were trapped inside. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. You want to pass this on to a shame mobster in your social circle? I tweeted it out. It's also, you can get it at the Quillette.com website. I was the mob until the mob came after me. And this is what mentioned a bunch, that the left is going to cannibalize itself. What do you think? You go from identity politics, singular identity politics, to intersectionality. It's a competition to see who is the most aggrieved, who is the greatest victim group. And that necessarily means some quote-unquote victim groups are going to have to be sacrificed for the bigger, better victim group. And with the Democratic Party now being effectively run by that Ocasio-Cortez socialist in the Bronx, there's only going to be more of this. And it's interesting because I think some on the left are starting to figure out how destructive this is, how they're going to miss their midterm opportunity to derail Republican control of Congress, to derail the Trump legislative agenda, policy agenda, because they can't get out of their own way. They can't pull themselves out of this identity politics death spiral, and that's exactly what it is.
Well, they have no leader. I mean, who's the Democratic leader? All the Democrats I know in Chicago hate Rahm Emanuel. They cannot stand him. They don't like J.B. Pritzker. They don't know who they're going to vote for president in 2020. There's nobody on the bench. There's nobody guiding that flock. So then they jump onto Bernie Sanders. That didn't work. And then they wonder why Hillary Clinton lost. That's my favorite. Well, you didn't support her anyway in the first place.
Well, but here's what they don't understand. They don't understand number one, that they project onto others what they are, intolerant, anti-intellectual. If you subscribe to any of this leftist nonsense, I'm sorry, that's what you are. The identity politics, this death spiral of identity politics, it is anti-intellectual, it is thuggery. That's how it ends. And that's exactly what this mobster, former shame mobster, is referencing. And yet, the whole kind of leader thing, all the energy on the left is in the Ocasio-Cortez camp. Self-identified socialists, Antifa, Black Lives Matter. We've said this from the campaign to present. You can look at Donald Trump and say, man, that's not my communication style. That's not a personality that I gravitate towards. But people listen to what he says, and now they see what he does, consistent with the promises that he made, and they say, I may have some qualms about Trump, but the hell if I'm going to align myself with Black Lives Matter and Antifa and the father flaggers and the race hustlers and the self-avowed socialists. No way. And yet, what did you have Hillary Clinton offer over the weekend in Pittsburgh, where she was given another award by the American Federation of Teachers, which is about, half a dial turn away from Black Lives Matter and Antifa and the Democrat socialists, meaning socialists. Listen to Hillary Clinton talking about the Trump administration and everything that's going on and all that must be stopped. Those people.
We have never seen such organized cruelty, disdain, and contempt for those values. People used to hide the way they felt. They wouldn't come right out and say what they were thinking, which was good. That's part of the process of civilization. But boy, not today. Over the last 18 months, this administration has tried to rip away health coverage for millions and to end coverage for people with pre-existing conditions. They've given tax cuts to the wealthiest few, and they've paid for them on the backs of children and working families. They've gutted funding for public schools and universities, and they've rolled back protections against discrimination for students. And unimaginably, they have ripped children away from their parents. They have forced toddlers as young as 1-year-olds to appear in court.
Dramatic pause.
I find this beyond politics, the inhumanity of it, the disgrace, the indecency of it, should incite all of us to know that we are not those people.
Keep it up. That's why I want Hillary 2020. Let's do this thing again. Interesting piece corresponding to the shame mobster's confessional from Sherry Berman in The Guardian, why identity politics benefits the right more than the left. She's coming to this from a left perspective. She's lamenting that this is the case. But she writes, based on some of the social science on the topic, and that the lining up of identities dramatically changes electoral stakes. Previously, if your party lost, other parts of your identity were not threatened. But today, losing is also a blow to your racial, religious, regional, and ideological identity. How politicized we have become and divided among lines more than just party affiliation, because party affiliation is embedded based on the constituency groups with all of the other things that define you, all of the other affiliations that are important to you, religious, regional, ideological. She goes on to suggest that situations, this division, promote emotional rather than rational evaluations of policies and evidence. The effort to address this and to not instigate the base plus dynamic that electoral politics currently finds itself in. She writes, this will require avoiding the type of identity politics that stresses differences and creates a zero-sum competition between groups, and instead emphasizing common values and interests. She notes a Stanford psychologist, if the goal is to diminish intolerance, telling people they're racist, sexist, and xenophobic is going to get you exactly nowhere. It's such a threatening message. One of the things we know from social psychology is when people feel threatened that they can't change and they can't listen. And, of course, it's the mobsters that are making the threats. And that's just driving people not only to the other camp, but also to get out to protect their camp and vote. Greg in LaGrange, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning, guys. You know, the thing that's the shameful thing about this is we know the immigration system's broken. And she has the nerve to throw these young children, as young as 1 year old, saying that they're being ripped away from their parents. That's ridiculous. And we've seen studies where these children are being used by people to get into this country illegally for who knows what reason. And the shamelessness of this Democrat, and she's a Democrat, and let me tell you, I'm guaranteeing you right now, Dan and Amy, she will be eaten by this rabid Democratic Socialist group. She's using this as a political tool, and none of these people, nobody is outraged about it. This is where our country's going.
Well, and shamelessness is a feature of the shame mobsters.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Can a student be opted out of a class that goes against his religious beliefs? This is Law and Justice with Jay Sekulow.
My son is going to 8th grade. We're being told by the district that we cannot opt him out of the health course because of religious beliefs, because what they teach is contrary to what we have been teaching our son. And we're being told that it's not our constitutional right to do so.
Well, they are absolutely, positively incorrect. The Supreme Court, for over 100 years now, has held that when it comes to the upbringing and training of children, it's primarily the parents' responsibility, and that the school does not have custody of that sense of your child for any course they feel like. If you have a religious objection to a particular curriculum, you have the right to opt out of that, especially in something as controversial as what's called the health curriculum, which is the old sex education curriculums. You have the right to opt out. Let me get you in touch with our lawyers at the American Center for Law and Justice, because your constitutional rights need to be protected.
Find out more at aclj.org. That's aclj.org.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off the drugs and get rid of the pain. You don't need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask the pain, find the source, and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. You're welcome, America. That's not a statement a resident of Illinois gets to make very often with sincerity. But the nation owes a debt of gratitude to two Illinoisans who advanced the cause of liberty for millions more Americans through their courage to dissent. Pam Harris and Mark Janis are their names. Pam is the mother of a young man with developmental disabilities who resisted SEIU's attempt to force parents of children with disabilities into its union, literally pitting bullying parents against their children. Pam took her case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in her favor in 2014. That set the table for Mark Janis, a child support specialist for the state of Illinois who challenged his forced membership in and financing of AFSCME. Mark took his case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in his favor in June. Without Harris, there would have been no Janis. Without Janis, public sector workers in 22 states would still be second-class citizens with respect to their First Amendment rights. Courage begets courage. As I know them both, I can tell you what they would say about the history they've made. Don't worry about remembering our names. Focus instead on emulating our example.
Looking for a fun summer vacation idea? Charlottesville in Albemarle County, Virginia is a short and easy trip with daily nonstop flights on 2 airlines from O'Hare. Tour the homes of former presidents Jefferson, Monroe, and Madison. Sip wine at one of the area's 30-plus wineries. Take a hike in Shenandoah National Park. Dine al fresco at one of the many farm-to-table restaurants, or stroll down one of the longest pedestrian malls in the country. Plan your trip today at visitcharlottesville.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. We've all heard what the big banks have been doing. Time to call Townstone. I guarantee you can have confidence when calling me at 312-896-2110 or going to townstone.com that our only interest is getting you the best refinance deal available and to make sure your home purchase closes on time and without headaches. Great news, we have several new home mortgage programs. The first is a jumbo mortgage program that only requires a 15% down payment without any mortgage insurance. The second is a bank statement program which allows business owners and self-employed borrowers to finally qualify for a mortgage even if they don't show much income on their tax returns. Had a bankruptcy, short sale, or deed in lieu 12 months ago and want to purchase a new house? We have a program for you too. All programs have restrictions, so give me a call now at 312-896-2110. Remember, nobody values your home purchase business more than Townstone. I guarantee it. I own the company. That's 312-896-2110 or go to townstone.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 66229 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Buying a home should be one of life's best experiences, but today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher payments. And that can turn a great experience into an anxious one. At Quicken Loans, we've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. It's called the Power Buying Process. We check your income, assets, and credit to provide you with a verified approval, which can give you the strength of a cash buyer. Once verified, you qualify for our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days while you find your new home. Then, once you've found your new home, if rates have gone up, your rate stays locked. But if rates have gone down, your rate drops, and you get to keep that new lower rate. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
AM 560. The Answer.
Putin and President Trump are out of their one-on-one meeting, just in case you want to update.
Yeah, all right.
They're
there you
now
go.
sitting at a very long table.
Look forward to the post game on that. Sad story. 63-year-old father found beaten to death Sunday afternoon in the South Austin neighborhood on Chicago's west side. John Herring, known as Nicholas, I'm sure he had other nom de plumes as well. He
ladies' man.
Reportedly the father of 43 children.
43 children. 43 kids. What, he didn't pay child support maybe? Somebody beat him up?
Same mom?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She had litters and litters and litters of children.
43 children. Definitely
He's 63. He has 43 children.
Definitely an adherent of Genesis. Go forth and multiply.
Beaten to death, died from head trauma. No one's in custody. No arrests.
I think you've probably got
They're investigating. Maybe they'll sit down some of the 43 children.
probably have upwards of 50 or 60 suspects.
Do you think some of them lived at home? He had a big home in Austin. Yeah, 43 kids. How is it? And people in the neighborhood said he was well known. Well, yeah, no, duh. Every lady he met, he might have, fathered a child with. Chances are pretty good.
He's very nice, according to one neighbor.
He's the nicest man you could ever want to meet. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. All this killing is so senseless, and now they're targeting the elderly? Really?
That's actually Gwyneth Bridgeforth, one of his daughter-in-laws. So if he has 43 kids, 35 in-laws, daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, and then how many grandchildren and great-grandchildren? Oh, yeah. He's getting busy.
I wonder who would finance those family reunions, picnics. I mean, at the Forest Preserve.
And his family almost bragged about it, saying, no, this is legit. He has 43 children.
Yeah, nice guy. That's what the lady said. Yeah, 43 children. That's super.
He's had a busy life. You can't say he didn't enjoy it.
We, like most of the West Side, apparently mourning the loss of John, don't call me Nicholas Herring.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll talk to Bill Gerst from the Washington Free Beacon about the Trump-Putin summit at 8:38.
And later, she just wants an apology. Then maybe those hate crime charges will be dropped. But first, here's Mike Scott.
80 degrees outside, hot and sticky today. A summit meeting between the president and Russian leader Vladimir Putin taking place in Finland this morning. A one-on-one get-together at the presidential palace in Helsinki.
I think we have great opportunities together as two countries that, frankly, we have not been getting along very well for the last number of years. I've been here not too long, but it's getting close to 2 years. But I think we will end up having an extraordinary relationship.
There will be additional talks later today with advisors and staffers from both sides invited in. A suspect accused of shooting 3 Kansas City, Missouri police officers is dead following a standoff. 2 undercover detectives were shot outside of a motel yesterday morning while following the suspect, who was considered a person of interest in the shooting death of a Missouri, Kansas City student earlier this month. A wildfire burning near Yosemite National Park in California has killed a man who was helping to fight it. Braden Varney died while battling the Ferguson fire over the weekend. An investigation continues following 2 deadly shootings Sunday in Gary, Indiana. In the morning, Heather Talley was found shot to death in the 2500 block of Central Avenue. Several hours later, police tell us 2 men were discovered with gunshot wounds inside of a vehicle near 9th and Harrison. A woman is dead after she was struck by a CTA train at a Green Line station on Chicago's west side. And Chicago police continue looking for the driver involved in a deadly hit-and-run crash in the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood. A man was struck crossing the street last night in the 5200 block of West Fullerton. A white SUV, according to those at the scene, struck the man crossing the street, and the driver did not stop. Bail is set at $3 million for a West Chicago man accused of selling heroin to undercover police officers. He appeared in a DuPage County courtroom over the weekend. Cubs knock off the Padres 7-4. White Sox rout the Royals 10-1. Cubs head into the All-Star break, if you're counting, in first place in the NL Central. The news, a service of Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty when you become a Compassion sponsor. Choose your child now at compassion.com/radio and do your part to release a child from poverty today. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees a rocky future for the Dems.
The way the Democrats are behaving right now, they're going to drive people right into the arms of the Republican Party, and the Democrats are not going to take the House. I mean, really, come on. Can we be real? Do today's Democrats want to be socialists across the board? Well, if they do, okay, there's a lot more of us than there are of them.
Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
How's your breath? If you're not using TheraBreath, it might be bad. TheraBreath is guaranteed to give you fresh breath or your money back. Available at your local drugstore. Visit TheraBreath.com for coupons and locations.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It is 8:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Southbound 53 is really heavy this morning. First from Palatine Road to Kirchhoff, then from Higgins down to 355. Northbound at Stop and Go, Higgins to the Adams Tollway and Kirchhoff to Palatine Road. The Veterans Memorial itself looks good southbound, but northbound, slow pockets from 63rd to Roosevelt with a new construction configuration, and then it's slow Army Trail to 290. Slow going on the Tri-State, southbound Washington to Bradley, and Toohey to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound Archer to 31st, Reagan Tollway to Lawrence, and Toohey to Dempsey. Adams Tollway jammed, Elmhurst Road to the Tri-State, Reagan Tollway York to Roosevelt, crashed in the right lane. Edens runs 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose out on 33. Kennedy, an hour and 3 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 50 minutes from Montrose, 35 in the Express, up on 45 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, 34 from Mansfield, up on 51 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan is 36 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly sunny, maybe a thunderstorm today because of all that hot and humid air, high of 86. Clearing out overnight, less humid, low 65. 82 at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Putin and Trump wrapped up their summit meeting, which lasted a couple hours. Trump saying, at least see some reports. What?
You had me at hello?
Did not say that, I don't believe. But he said it's a good start. So they exchanged numbers. They may see each other again. And he was sort of optimistic, but with no expectations, much like when I go on a date, about this summit meeting.
We have discussions on everything from trade to military to missiles to nuclear to China. We'll be talking a little bit about China. Our mutual friend, President Xi. I think we have great opportunities together as two countries that, frankly, we have not been getting along very well for the last number of years. I've been here not too long, but it's getting close to 2 years. But I think we will end up having an extraordinary relationship. I hope so. I've been saying, and I'm sure you've heard over the years, and as I campaigned, that getting along with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing.
All right. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Bill Gertz, senior editor for the Washington Free Beacon and author of the book I War and Peace in the Information Age. Bill, thanks for being with us.
Hi, good morning, Dan and Amy.
Morning. And so a lot was made in the run-up of this of, how Trump should be characterizing Putin, how Trump should be characterizing Russia. The meeting happens against the backdrop of those sort of virtue signaling indictments by Mueller on Friday. I mean, is there much to read into what we know to be the case at this point?
Yeah, I think Trump really did a very good strategic move by criticizing NATO in the run-up to his meeting with Putin. That kind of gave him leverage in this closed-door meeting with the Russian leader, basically saying, look, you know, he's a different kind of leader. He's trying to play, I think, the Russia card against China, which I think is a good thing. He's trying to make a deal with Putin. There's a lot of issues, as he said. There's the issue of Crimea. There's the issue of Russian violations of the INF Treaty. They've deployed a new cruise missile, which really sets off a whole strategic nuclear issue. And again, he was also talking about the Russian buildup of nuclear forces. So I think it's a good thing that he's meeting with the Russian leader. Hopefully, again, I think he's a good negotiator, and he's looking for some deal down the road with Putin.
Well, I mean, it's not a summit, so they're just getting to know each other. No agenda. Any deliverables coming out? I mean, they're going to come out and say during this joint press conference that we're now going to go do X, Y, and Z.
No, I think that they're looking. I've read reports that they're looking to do some kind of deal on Syria that would lead to the Iranian withdrawal from Syria. I don't know if that may be one of the deliverables that they're reportedly looking at, but I think this is just a get acquainted session. I think they're going to both be checking each other out. I noted that Putin arrived very late for the meeting. That was definitely a power move on the Russian leader's part to keep Trump waiting and, again, to send a signal that he's in charge when that's usually something that Trump does.
In terms of kind of framing the relationship, how important is it that Trump establish some boundaries, some you shall not cross boundaries, you shall not extend your revanchism to the Baltics? We are, we will respond if you continue your forays into trying to reconstitute Mother Russia.
Yeah, see, I don't see Trump doing that. Trump is, as he's announced, his policies are America first, so he's looking everything in the context of what Russia can do to support American interests, rather than the U.S., again, going to bat for Europe, defending Europe, trying to deal with issues like Russian expansionism. I don't think that's kind of high on his agenda. It's obviously something that the U.S. has a responsibility as the world's main superpower. But again, from Trump's standpoint, again, he's looking at it from a strategic position of America first. How can better relations with Moscow benefit America down the road? And like I said, I think the big deliverable, if he could develop a better relationship, we need to wean Russia.
We need to what? Sorry,
wean Russia off what? I'm sorry.
We need to wean Russia away from China. Right now, Russia and China are developing an anti-U.S. alliance. So I think that basically Trump is trying to get Russia away from China and develop some type of accommodation with the U.S. that can be used eventually down the road. Because if you look at the threats from Russia and China, the Chinese economy is like 7 times bigger than the Russian economy. Plus, Russia is really struggling with the sanctions that have been imposed on it by the U.S. and Europe over Crimea and other issues.
And what about, do you think President Trump or even the media during this joint press conference will bring up the poisoning of those British residents?
Well, certainly that's an issue of Russian behavior. The fact that the Russians have, and I outline this in my book, I War, they've been engaged in killing journalists, killing opposition figures. Let's face it, this is not a good regime in Moscow, and the president needs to make clear that any accommodation between the U.S. and Russia will be for U.S. interests in the short term, and that over the long term, the U.S. could wage information warfare against Russia, like the Russians did during the 2016 election, and that would certainly get the attention of the Russian leader, I think.
So on this issue of hacking, on the issue of Syria, on the issue of revanchism, if Trump is going to kind of emphasize the positive, as it were, and offer carrots, what carrot does he have other than lifting sanctions?
Well, I think definitely that is what the Russians want. They're looking for some type of economic relief from the United States, and I think Trump could play that card very well. He could say, "Look, if you guys change the behavior, stop poisoning dissidents and opposition figures, get out of Ukraine, and stop destabilizing the Ukraine," then there could be a possibility of lifting sanctions. But on the issue of Russian election meddling, does anybody think that if Hillary Clinton had won the election that there would be this media and Democratic push to press Moscow over its election meddling? They've been doing that for decades, and in previous elections they've done even far worse things to interfere with the United States, and none of the media or the Democrats cared about it at that. But when Hillary Clinton lost the election, somehow they think that Moscow helped Trump get elected. I think really what the Russians did was prevent Hillary from getting elected, and it's a subtle difference, but it's a significant one.
You mean attempt to prevent her
Yeah.
from getting, yeah, right. There was some other news over the weekend that's important. It was overshadowed, of course, by this summit meeting in Helsinki, but Trump telling top diplomats to seek direct talks with the Taliban to try and bring the 17-year war in Afghanistan to an end and 15,000 American troops deployed there home, consistent with what you were saying before about American interests. How do you receive that information and that approach to Afghanistan?
Yeah, I don't see a negotiated settlement in Afghanistan. Right now, they're looking for a way out, and the problem is nobody wants to say that we've spent $1 trillion there and lost so many lives, and then ended up having to cut and run, and that's really the problem. We're not into nation buildings, and I think that's one of the key things that Trump has been advocating. He doesn't want America to be a nation builder, and we just don't have a Department of Nation Building. We have a military, we have a State Department, and we have a Defense Department, but trying to rebuild a country like Afghanistan, we've definitely bitten off more than we can chew with that problem. So he's looking for an exit strategy, I think.
Well, right. But what are the geopolitical implications? Because the domestic political implications are net positive. I mean, there's no appetite for among the American public to be in Afghanistan in perpetuity, which it seems like we already have been.
Yeah, it's not a problem that can be solved with military forces there. I think we can use intelligence forces, or at the very least, special operations forces in small numbers, and basically pull out our regular troops there. Trying to train up the Afghans hasn't worked. We're still seeing insider attacks there, but again, this is a big problem. We don't want terrorists to end up being a base there. Trying to deal with the Taliban, which has been doing suicide attacks, killing hundreds of Afghans, I don't think that's going to work either.
All right. He is Bill Gertz, senior editor for the Washington Free Beacon. His book, I War and Peace in the Information Age. Bill, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you very much.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, he's not a racist, he's drunk. But first, here's your forecast. It's just stifling humidity out there. It's hot and humid today. Unhealthy air quality day for sensitive groups. If you have asthma, heart conditions, a high of 86 degrees. Then tonight, or later this evening, probably around 3 or 4 o'clock, actually later this afternoon, we should have a thunderstorm roll through here. And with that, it will be less humid, a low tonight of 65, so we get a break. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny, pleasant, less humid, obviously, and a high of 80. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Centaur. Here's the boss, Jim Telemonte.
Morning, Amy and Dan. We have delays on the CTA Red Line after a power outage on the south side at 47th. Trains are running there again, but not on the Green Line. Service is suspended right now. Central and Conservatory. Metra has delays on multiple lines. Mechanical issues. Eden's 20 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose out on 32. Kennedy. It's jammed inbound Montrose to Division after a crash. An hour and 3 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 50 minutes from Montrose. 35 in the Express. Outbound 45 to the airport. Eisenhower. 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 50. Stevenson an hour, 355 to the drive. Outbound 39 minutes. Ryan is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. tollways are still heavy, so is southbound 53. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Turnkey IT knows that computer networks and all things IT are the vital heartbeat of any company. However, keeping up with hardware and software to hiring and managing IT staff can be costly and time-consuming, but there is a different solution. Now your business can have a full-time IT department for only $795 a month. That's what Turnkey IT's all-in small business package is for. You get world-class help desk, on-site and remote support, monitoring of network resources, 365 hosting, cloud backup, antivirus, and so much more, plus new hardware every 4 years. Hey, where can you hire a reliable and highly capable employee for less than $10K a year? You don't have to with Turnkey IT. From 1 person to 200 employees, it's easy and affordable with Turnkey IT. You run your business, they'll handle the technical stuff. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. You're welcome, America. And that's not a statement a resident of Illinois gets to make very often with sincerity. But the nation owes a debt of gratitude to 2 Illinoisans who advance the cause of liberty for millions more Americans through their courage to dissent. Pam Harris and Mark Janis are their names. Pam is the mother of a young man with developmental disabilities who resisted SEIU's attempt to force parents of children with disabilities into its union, literally pitting parents against their children. Pam took her case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in her favor in 2014. That set the table for Mark Janis, a child support specialist for the state of Illinois who challenged his forced membership in and financing of AFSCME. Mark took his case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in his favor in June. Without Harris, there would have been no Janis. Without Janis, public sector workers in 22 states would still be second-class citizens with respect to their First Amendment rights. Courage begets courage. As I know them both, I can tell you what they would say about the history they've made. Don't worry about remembering our names. Focus instead on emulating our example.
Attend the Lake County Right to Life Annual Benefit Banquet, Friday, July 27th from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Doubletree by Hilton in Mundelein. Mary Holland Fiorito from the Ethics and Public Policy Center is the featured speaker. Her presentation, Religious Liberty, How It Weaves Through Our Lifetime, will tackle controversy and current events as she examines the social and political environment of abortion. So many critics of the pro-life position complain that abortion is a women's rights issue. Mary makes it clear that abortion is a human issue. Religious liberty is under attack, and the 45-year-old Roe v. Wade decision still keeps abortion legal, yet there are many reasons for hope. Hear Mary at the Lake County Right to Life Benefit Banquet at the Doubletree Hotel on Route 83 in Mundelein, Friday, July 27th from 6 to 10 p.m. Seating is free of charge, however, contributions will be requested to support Lake County Right to Life. For reservations, call 847-223-7022 or visit lcrtl.org.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know. The credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people, they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
How much do you spend on your pest control each year? $200, $300, or even $500 or more? What if I said you could spend less than $25 a year, even less with promo code RADIO20? Then listen up. G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free, and yes, it is possible to rid your home or business of unwanted pests for less than $25 per year. The answer is Plug-in Pest Free. Our best seller, the Plug-in Pest Free Pro, will cover up to 4,000 square feet. Now that's fair income. For just a one-time cost of only $249, even less with promo code RADIO20, you'll be pest-free for years to come. Log on to gopestfree.com today. Use promo code RADIO20 and start driving those pests away. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. GoPestFree.com. That's GoPestFree.com. Promo code Radio20.
AM 560. The Answer.
Yo, 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 listen up. Spicy's coming to town. Sean Spicer coming to Chicago for an event that AM 560 is hosting Wednesday, August 8th at the Museum of Broadcast Communications on State Street, that great street. Being presented by HealthInsuranceMentors.com. And the cost of the event, well, it is gratis. That means free. Tickets are limited, so you must register to get yours. Just go to the 560theanswer.com/briefing. 560theanswer.com/briefing, and you can set aside your tickets. Also, right now, you can win a pair of tickets to join us August 8th with Sean Spicer. Just be caller number 6 to 312-733-6993. 312-733-6993. Caller number 6 gets a couple of free tickets to Sean Spicer's event. Your free ticket also gets you access to the Saturday Night Live exhibit at the NBC. You can check out that before you meet Sean Spicer. Again, August 8th. Get your free tickets at 560theanswer.com/briefing.
Well, on Friday, in case you didn't know, our favorite guy, Timothy Tribus, 62, he's a guy who went up to that woman wearing a Puerto Rican T-shirt. You know, Mia. Well, he went to court.
Not sure
pled
he's
not guilty.
Guy, exactly.
I know he's not. I'm being facetious, but our favorite tube sock wearer. And Mia explains, racism.
I have never personally had an encounter with racism to this degree.
And she said she feared for her life, and that's why she got out her cell phone and recorded it.
Right before I started recording, he actually stepped on top of the table, which is when I felt the most threatened, and hence me grabbing my phone to start recording.
I didn't see him step on the top of the table, but that's sort of immaterial. She should have felt threatened, her safety threatened, because there was a Cook County Forest Police officer there that was doing his impersonation of a Madame Tussauds figurine.
Here's a Cook County Assistant State's Attorney.
He was raising his voice, pointing his finger in her face, and getting within inches of her personal space.
And now he's been charged with 2 felony counts of a hate crime and could spend up to 20 years in prison. Luckily, he's not in jail. He's on a ankle monitoring bracelet because he's taking care of his mom who's sick, and his mode of transportation is a bicycle. A regular at the Forest Preserve. That's why they've known each other. They said he doesn't even have an unpaid parking ticket on his record, never been arrested. But his really good friend of 20 years, John Brimmel, came forward to say he's not racist. He's got a drinking problem.
Anybody that says that he's a racist or anything like that, he's not. In all the years I've known him, he's just a nice kid. He just said, this was the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. He thought it was kind kind of like disrespectful to the American flag on Flag Day.
Yeah. No.
We're all Americans. Whew.
Now pass that bottle of hooch over here.
Yeah, my little kid friend here. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, Quinn McCarthy, our assistant producer, and Keith Conrad, our executive producer. We're back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott.
Investigating a possible arson fire in Harvey and body cam footage.